Monterey KMOX News.
Brought to you by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. Hi, Margaret at Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all have one thing in common. We're all going to die. Do you have an estate plan? Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. The choice of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely on advertising.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors, The Chris and Amy Show.
Check it out. St. Louis, Mound City, we are going to have a great day today.
On 104.1 FM.
Let's take it from the top.
KMOX.
Good morning, friends. Hello, and hello.
It's Thursday.
What does that mean?
It means it's almost Friday, which means you can definitely mail in tomorrow and you can start licking the envelope now.
That's right, baby. You know what? I've been licking envelopes all day. Just wedding invitations, for my marriage.
Yes.
My marriage coming up.
Congratulations, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it in the 11 o'clock hour.
Not getting married. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji. It is Thursday, and we love you, and we are glad you're here with us. We would like you to participate in the show. 314-436-7900. When you participate, our job is easier. Also, on the Odyssey app, voice messages, you can leave them just with a click of a button. If you are listening on the Odyssey app, you can do that. And we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
It's a down sports time, and that's a perfect time for the ESPYs, which was last night. Shane Gillis, the comedian, who's coming to St. Louis, by the way, soon, killed it. However, the crowd didn't seem to react kindly to him so much. At least I didn't think so.
And a judge orders the arrest of the former Festus-based crazy chimpanzee caretaker Tanya Haddix, the chimp crazy lady. Oof.
This poor lady.
Ooh.
Cardinal baseball, not tonight. You're going to have to wait one more day. They'll be back at it tomorrow against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We are going to talk with Jesse Rogers of ESPN, who's going to give us his thoughts on the Birds and some baseball-related stuff, and that's all coming up today. So, yes, the ESPYs was last night, and I thought, look, I like Shane Gillis, and he hosted. I thought he was the perfect host. I thought it was the perfect crowd for him, and here's a piece of that.
Donald Trump wants to stage a UFC fight on the White House lawn. The last time he staged a fight in D.C., Mike Pence almost died. All right. You don't have to do that. It was fine. I didn't write it. Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but as it got deleted. Must have probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that.
So Shane, I thought Shane was funny, and it kind of reminded me of Norm Macdonald, who hosted back in the 90s, and it was right around the time of the OJ thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's weird. I think these sports crowds,
yeah,
I don't know what it is about them, but they didn't react well to Norm's jokes.
So Ranj, we were talking about this earlier, and I thought my reaction, because I thought Shane Gillis killed it. I was laughing. I was laughing out loud. He was funny.
He's always funny.
And to me, the kind of that uncertain, uncomfortable, muffled courtesy laugh gave me the same vibes when Ricky Gervais gave his opening monologue at the Golden Globes and just went after Hollywood. And they're just so self-important and they're so serious that they couldn't laugh at it. To me, my first thought was that the people in the crowd were a little too self-important to laugh at jokes that poked fun at them. And you said, I just think athletes aren't
I don't
funny.
think it's that. I don't think it's a self-importance. And maybe there are some people in the crowd who do see themselves like that. I just think in general, athletes are not especially funny. So I don't think they have good senses of humor. Some do. I'm not saying that there are zero, because there are some funny people I know who are professional athletes. But you have to think about the people you know who are really, really good athletes. Most of them probably aren't hilarious. They don't work on it. They don't work on being funny because they're so good at sports, you know?
This is
So
going to be rude.
I think that's what it is.
This is rude. I don't mean it rude. I agree with you. And again, it could be a combination of things because he went after the WNBA a few times. And I think people are like, oh, we're not going to laugh at
He went after
women's
everybody.
sports. We can't laugh at women's sports. But yes, I do think sometimes athletes aren't that funny. Or maybe they're just not smart funny. Like the funny is like Barstool funny where it's like, oh, bro humor. I think there's a lot of that in athletics. I think if you are
Locker room clubhouse humor.
Tossing out sharp, ironic observations, that's not the intellect level of some athletes. Not all the athletes at the ESPYs. I'm not saying that. There are some really smart athletes, obviously, but there's also the locker room contingent. That's the Barstool contingent.
Well, I think what's funny about this is Shane Gillis was a collegiate athlete.
Yeah.
And so, again, I'm not saying none of them are funny. It's just that, I mean, you have to really think about the best athletes that you know in your life and what percentage of them are actually funny. I think that's what it is, because if you remember the Norm Macdonald joke, which do we have this too? I don't know if we
have
not.
a few. Yeah, we have a few more clips because yes,
at the very end of the ESPYs, at the very end of his monologue, he did the classic Norm Macdonald joke that happened at the ESPYs in the late 90s.
Yeah.
When he mentioned Charles Woodson, who played for Michigan and won the Heisman Trophy, and it was an OJ joke. And with the people in the crowd who were there, like the fan base, like the fans, they reacted well to it, but the athletes didn't really seem to react well to it at all. But this was not Norm, but this was Shane last night.
There's one thing I want to say before I get out of here, and this is a dumb joke. You guys aren't going to like it, but it was it's just a Norm Macdonald joke that I loved when he hosted the ESPYs, and I'm going to do it now. Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy this year. He's the first defensive player since Charles Woodson to win the Heisman. Congratulations, Travis Hunter, winning the Heisman. That's something they can never take away from you unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case they can take that away from you. Well, see, a lot of you don't like me, and that's okay.
See, to me, that's the vibe of the Ricky Gervais. It's not that they're not smart enough to get it. It's not that they're not funny. I think they're a little self-important, or they're afraid to laugh at something that might be edgy.
Oh, I think most people didn't get it. I think a lot of the athletes probably didn't get it.
Really?
Yes.
You have a very low.
Well, you have a low opinion. You're saying that they're all self-important. I think they're just not funny.
They're dumb.
No, I just don't think they're funny.
So we would love to hear from you, 314-436-7900, because here's the thing. It also depends on, like I said, it is so specific to the athlete. Gabby Thomas is a Harvard grad going after her PhD. She was there. She's a genius.
Yeah.
So I think there are really, really, really smart athletes. I think there are very, very self-important athletes. I think there are very, very funny athletes. And maybe whatever the mix is for whatever reason. And I think there are athletes who are afraid to be seen because we live in such a seek and destroy like mentality when it comes to what joke did you laugh at? What joke did you laugh at? That there were probably some athletes afraid to laugh at a joke that poked fun at something that could be considered culturally controversial, or, a hot topic like women's sports or the WNBA. Maybe they didn't want to be seen laughing at a WNBA joke.
But again, this happened 30 years ago with Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Most of his jokes did not go over well either with the athletic crowd. They just didn't. And that Charles Woodson OJ joke did not go over well. And, we have one comment on YouTube. It says most of these athletes probably weren't born when the OJ thing was going on, which is true. So they probably don't understand.
Really?
They didn't get the joke. Yeah, I think that's
okay.
Well, think about how many people now who are adults who were not around for 9/11 and have no memory of 9/11.
So I will say this in your defense. Again, I'm like defending all sides here. Athletes are smart. Athletes aren't funny. Athletes are funny. I'm going all over the board here because there are different options. However, in your defense regarding OJ, because my gut reaction is, no, people know who OJ is. Just like I know what Watergate is. I know who Richard Nixon is, and I wasn't alive. But I will say this. One, because of smartphones and technology, younger generations can live in a silo. They can isolate themselves from anything that happened before them. And two, when I was tutoring, and this was like 2018, these kids were in high school in 2018. So they're the same age. They might be older than some of these athletes in the audience now, right? Because they're in their mid-20s. I 100% thought they all knew who O.J. Simpson is. And I was like, you guys remember, you know O.J. Simpson, you've heard of him? And they looked at me with blank faces and they just were like, no.
And even if they...
No. And that means these are people who are 25 now.
So even if they do know who he is, or they do know about 9/11, they don't know what it felt like.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what it felt like at the time of the OJ thing and how insane that was crazy. The chase and the Bronco chase and the whole thing, and OJ was, everybody loved OJ. It was crazy that was all going on at the time.
The only thing as crazy as that is having 31 blank faces stare back at you when you ask.
Oh yeah.
You know who OJ Simpson is, right? So in your defense, it could be that maybe they didn't know who OJ was.
But again, I'm going to go back to Norm when he made the OJ joke, and it was objectively funny when he did it. It's just, if you didn't think that was funny, your sense of humor blows, because it was funny.
Yeah.
And they immediately cut to Ken. I'll never forget it. They cut to Ken Griffey Jr. sitting in the crowd, and he just had this look on his face like, nope. Either like he did not get it, didn't like it. He shook his head, and it wasn't like a shaking his head, hey, that was really funny. I can't believe you said that. It was like I can't believe you said that kind of thing. So I don't think it's about self-importance. I just think these dudes aren't that funny.
4-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players. That's crazy. You clap for that.
You got claps for that one.
I know. Well, he got claps for when they thought it was her, or when they showed her. Yeah. There were. Do you want to throw out a couple more?
Joe Rogan actually wanted me to be here to host this award show so that I could capture Adam Silver, because Joe thinks he's an alien. And Donald Trump wanted me to be here to capture Juan Soto for the same reason. It's an alien joke. What are you booed up there, dude? Shut up. Aaron Rodgers did not take the vaccine because he predicted it would be bad for him. And then he joined the New York Jets.
I think he's funny.
I think it's funny.
Yeah. So it's I think
that's what comedians do, is they take shots that are barbs with a hint of truth, a thought or something, whether it's poking fun at a cultural issue now or societal issue now or something with sports. I don't know. I thought he was funny.
Think about the audience. The audience really isn't the crowd in front of him. The audience is the rest of us. And I would suspect most people watching really enjoyed that set last night. By the way, Shane Gillis is at Enterprise Center August 9th.
Oh,
so he's coming to
soon.
town. Yeah, I know. And I have to miss it because I have to go to a stupid wedding.
Why are all your friends getting married? You're like
I don't know.
50 years
Stop getting
old.
married.
But yeah, I will say, like I said, I thought
it's not going to last anyway.
Yeah, I know. Just don't waste your time. I thought he was funny. What's funny is you could tell that he was picking up that he was not going over big with this crowd, because he would kind of apologize or say, oh, wow, you guys don't like that one.
Again, Amy, it is exactly like Norm's set
weird.
at the ESPYs.
So athletes in
the
general,
90s.
You think athletes in general.
Just not that funny.
30,000 foot view. While there are some really funny athletes, really funny, smart athletes, you think the big group is not that funny.
Yes, I think
this is a hot take.
I think sometimes when we're in presence of professional athletes and they make a joke, we might laugh a little harder because they're an athlete, and maybe it's not all that funny, really. That's kind of what I think.
Sometimes
if they were just a regular person, we probably wouldn't laugh at it.
Well, to your point, it's because when an athlete does make a joke, it's so unexpected.
Maybe that's it. Amy Marks, Chris Ranji. Yes, Major Garrett is on the show today because it's Thursday. He's with us at 10:30. I mentioned Jesse Rogers at 10 o'clock. Kind of work backwards here. But yeah, we'll talk some baseball. We got Major. This is a good show today, I promise you. Stick around with us till 12 o'clock when the Gas House Gang happens on 104.1 FM KMOX.
How many of you think taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, August 26th or Thursday, August 28th at Fleming's. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
KMOX and 97.1 FM Talk are proud to support the first ever Brendan Donovan Charity Clay Shoot, happening Thursday, August 7th at Stratfelden Farms Club in Weldon Spring. Join Cardinal standout Brendan Donovan, teammates, and local celebrities for a day of clay shooting and community, all to benefit Team Red, White, and Blue, and their mission to support veterans' health and wellness. Sponsorships and shooter spots are going fast. Visit teamrwb.org/Donovan now to sign up. Show your support and make a difference for those who have served.
St. Louis Public Library is here to help the community recover. Every Monday in July, join SLPL at DeVol Library, 4234 North Grand Boulevard from 4 to 6 p.m. For community rebuilding events, these outside events offer free resources and supplies to St. Louis neighbors, including food distribution, diapers and period products, legal aid, crisis counseling, and more. For more information, visit slpl.org.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
What's today? It's Thursday. Really? Feels like Tuesday.
Chris Ronji, Amy Mark Scores with you again. 314-436-7900. If you want to chime in, Ranj, with a giant blanket statement, thinks athletes aren't funny.
Yes, generally speaking.
Yeah, so if you are mad at him if you agree.
Listen, it's not their, it is not their talent. Think about most people who are athletic. All right, people who are funny, a lot of times they had to learn to be funny. Mm-hmm. Don't you think? I
don't know. I feel like I'm pretty naturally gifted.
No, there's something about you that's funny. There's a difference between being funny and something about you being funny. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I couldn't host the ESPYs, but I can host a show with you.
So
at any rate,
yeah. So if you're you've got a good sense of humor, you probably had to work on it. Mm-hmm. If you're really good at sports, you're not spending time working on being funny growing up. You're just good at sports.
All right, a hard left turn. This is a sad story from Tuesday night, but it does lead to a bigger topic. A woman was crawling on Interstate 70. So obviously something is wrong. in St. Louis County on Tuesday night. She was struck and killed. It is not clear why the woman was crawling, but she was in the westbound lane when she was hit by a Cadillac. The woman was 62 years old. So sad, because obviously something was wrong with this woman, that she was crawling on the highway. But here's the thing. If you're crawling on the highway or walking on the highway, we've seen pedestrians on the highway, there's a good chance you're going to get hit because you're not supposed to be on the highway. And I feel sad, yes, for the woman.
You talk about
who was
people walking on the shoulder.
The shoulder, or sometimes just in the middle of the highway. I mean, that's when this woman was in the westbound lane. You're going to get
This
hit.
is very unusual. I don't think I've ever seen anybody on the highway in the middle of the road.
I did. Remember when you got mad at me for calling the cops? There was a woman, you know where the Science Center crosses over Highway 40? She was in the middle of the fast lane, and people were slamming on their brakes and going around her, and it was awful. So I called the police because someone was going to get killed.
And I got mad at you for that?
Yes, because I had also called the cops a couple days before on the guy who I thought was setting himself on fire, but I think he was just trying to stay warm. At any rate,
dude.
At any rate,
That's why I got mad at you.
Yes, but obviously not enough to remember it. When you see something like this, it's upsetting, but the Cadillac, it was a Cadillac that hit the woman. That person's life might be messed up now. Even if it's not your fault, if you hit someone on the highway and there's no culpability on your part because you're not expecting someone to be crawling on the highway, it would really mess me up. And a couple of days ago when we had a downpour in the rain, I was driving on 40 westbound past Forest Park, and a motorcycle was lane splitting like it was going out of style. I mean, this guy was diving in and out, and you could see the different cars and the surprised reactions as they slammed on their brakes as he would cut in front of them. And here's the one thing. If you want to be an idiot and die on your motorcycle because you're lane splitting, that's one thing. But there's an innocent person driving who might hit you and kill you because you're on a motorcycle, who their lives are now messed up because you killed someone.
All right, let me just...
that is such a big fear for me, that there's going to be a pedestrian or a motorcyclist, someone doing something stupid, and you hit them because you're on the highway going 70 miles an hour, not expecting a motorcycle to cut in front of you. Now my life, I mean, I couldn't live with myself.
See, all right, I will concede that it's possible, before I say this, that you don't know how you'd react. Really, you don't know how you'd react until the thing happens to you. But I feel fairly confident that if a motorcyclist were to do that, to me, well, acting like an idiot, driving up the lane splitting, which I despise. I hate that. And I know it's allowed in some places. I'm pretty sure it is, which I think is nuts. I can't believe it's allowed. But the way some cyclists drive their motorcycles infuriates me to the point where I've seen so many videos of it, and they're not really paying attention to laws. They're cutting in and out of cars. They're putting other people in danger, at risk. And when I see them crash, I take a little delight. And I'm sorry, not all motorcycles, not all people riding motorcycles, because many people do obey the laws and they follow them the way they're supposed to. But I feel like if a motorcycle did something like that to me, and was driving like an idiot, and I accidentally clipped it, and then he gets seriously hurt, I feel like as long as I'm not in trouble, I don't think I'd lose an ounce of sleep over it.
I think you say that, but you'd go.
You might be right.
You would come in. This is what you do. You'd come in the next morning. You'd gonna. And I go, what? You're like, it wasn't even my fault, but I hit this guy, and I can't stop thinking about it. I can't sleep.
Well, I don't know if
That's what you would do. You would be so mad at yourself that you couldn't sleep because you couldn't stop thinking about the guy that you killed.
I can't sleep because of the coffee. That's the reason I can't.
At any rate, I hate these stories, not only because, yes, someone got killed, but because someone behind the wheel who did nothing wrong now has to live with that. That is traumatic.
Whatever.
Meanwhile, on the YouTube stream, Peyton Manning is funny.
Peyton Manning, I did not say there were no exceptions. There are exceptions. He is very funny. And by the way, they've milked the hell out of that because they found out there was one funny athlete. So let's use him over and over again. But he is very funny. You're correct. Yesterday, we talked about the Narcan machines that are going up in the St. Louis County area. And we wanted to bring somebody in who knows more about it, knows how to administer them, and what the liability is and all that stuff. Jenny Armbruster is the executive director of Prevent Ed. And Jenny joins us next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The Dave Glover Show.
If you sit down with me and we talk about who I am, what I am, my values, political, voting record, you're never going to walk away and go, that guy's a bleeding heart progressive. I'm just not stupid. And I just don't take bait. And I just don't do things because you tell me to, or that I'm afraid that if I don't, fall in line or get on the bandwagon, people aren't going to like me. Been there, done that for years.
The Dave Glover Show, now on FM, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling a bit uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Currently, it's 83 degrees, real feel temperature 98. Cloudy today, though not as hot. A thunderstorm in spots in the morning. Could be some heavy thunderstorms this afternoon that could bring flash flooding and localized damaging wind gusts. A high of 85. Low tonight, 71. Weather sponsored by Terrace Senior Living of Eureka.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
Upgrade your family vacation with an unforgettable escape to the Palm Beaches. From outdoor adventures and laid-back beaches to thrilling family attractions and animal encounters, the Palm Beaches have something for everyone. Discover premier resorts with creative kids clubs that will keep the little ones entertained while you enjoy world-class golf and spas. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches. Plan your trip at thepalmbeaches.com.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After proving the doctors wrong following my accident, I got back to baseball, started kicking field goals, and finally got paid as a pro kicker and ultimately became a leader in the marketing world. That's why I trust Renner Garage Door, exceeding expectations for over 65 years. They service, sell, and install top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Get your free quote today. Check them out at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
The Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, how an innovative immunotherapy is showing promise against aggressive T-cell cancers. Joining us is Dr. John DiPersio.
Until very recently, until this paper and a few other groups in the world have sort of developed approaches for T-cell malignancies, there was no hope for patients who relapsed. There were no effective therapies. This is a way of treating these patients that would normally have no other recourse.
For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
9:32 here. At 9:32, we have breaking news this hour. Hearing from a family friend, an attorney, Daryl Piggy, that William Bill Clay Sr. has died at the age of 94. He served, of course, a legend of St. Louis politics. He served for 32 years, 1969 to 2001, as Missouri's first congressional district representing those portions of St. Louis. Of course, a member of the Democrat Party. And again, just hearing this news this hour, we'll have more at the top of the hour. But William Bill Clay Sr., age 94, has died. Not the younger, because his middle name is also Lacey. It was not Lacey Clay that lost to Cori Bush in the recent elections. We'll have more news at the top of the hour on KMOX.
Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji on 104.1 FM KMOX. As you may have heard last couple of days, the implementation of Narcan machines, vending machines around St. Louis County, and that is in case of a potential overdose to save the life of somebody who is in the middle of a crisis. And to talk about that, what you need to know specifically about it, the administering it, and so on and so forth. Jenny Armbruster is the executive director of Prevent Ed, which is a nonprofit serving St. Louis since 1965. The aim is to prevent and reduce the harm of substance abuse, and education programs, community outreach, and assessment and recovery. And Jenny is with us now on KMOX. Good to have you with us today, Jenny. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
So we'll just get your reaction first on these vending machines that are going up around the county, and how good of a thing is this?
I think it's a fantastic opportunity and tool for people in the community. Surrounding communities have been implementing these. The city of St. Louis has several vending machines. Through partnership with Prevent Ed, we've been able to place some in Franklin County. We have one at our office in Olivet in St. Louis County. And so to see this expand is, I think, a way to have more access and availability for this medication for people.
Jenny, were the locations for the Narcan vending machines decided in part by meeting people where they're at and where that need would be? For instance, use of opioids or opioid overdoses in the area?
Absolutely. The county really took a look at where overdoses are occurring, where rates seem to be higher among youth, and then also just locations where people typically are, right? Where people have access to. The county library and other social service agencies like mine have been distributing naloxone for many years now. But that doesn't always mean that people have access to those locations or that the hours are convenient for people. And so the county really looked at what are some of those pockets where maybe people weren't getting access, and how can we make this easier for them?
So yesterday we were talking about the discomfort some people might have in administering Narcan to somebody who is going through a crisis. So just walk people through that. What happens, and how do you know if somebody needs it?
Yeah, so the signs of an overdose, what happens when somebody is experiencing an overdose is really their respiratory system has slowed down, if not, almost stopped. And that is really what causes an overdose. And so when naloxone is administered, it just really allows a person to start breathing again. And so the signs of the overdose are that labored breathing, not being responsive, sometimes the colors of nails or lips will be pale or change to like a blue, depending on skin tone. So really, if those symptoms are being displayed by somebody and an overdose is suspected, or maybe that could be the case of an individual's reaction, naloxone can be administered. And the beauty of it is it's so easy to administer. It is a nasal pump that doesn't need to be primed. You don't need to test it. You just open the package, put it in the person's nostril, and press the plunger to administer the medication.
I was talking yesterday about a good friend of mine who has been carrying Narcan for several years, but he works in the city. He also works with people who are unhoused, people who have addictions. So he's familiar with it. For me, it felt very foreign, the idea of walking up to a stranger and saying, "Oh, is this person okay?" Are the vending machines meant for people who are kind of familiar with that type of situation, maybe have firsthand experience, or is it for someone who's a complete newbie who's a bit freaked out?
I think it's for both, really. The vending machines can be a place where maybe somebody who is themselves or a loved one is at risk of overdose, and a way for them to have the naloxone on hand in case it's needed, right? But it's also a place where anyone could access. So if you're hearing these types of stories in the media and you're thinking, well, maybe I should have it. What if I'm out and about in this world and I see someone, I'd like to be prepared. It could also be used in a crisis situation. So I think the purpose of the machines is just really to have the easy accessibility so that anyone who needs it can be able to obtain the medication and have it on hand for when or if it's needed.
Can you kind of walk me through what I would expect? For instance, let's say I go to the vending machine, I have Narcan. I work downtown, so I walk downtown. I see someone on the ground who is out of it. I can't tell if they're sleeping or what kind of overdose, but something's going on. I decide to administer it. Can you walk me through a mental checklist that I should do before I walk up to this person and administer it, and then what I can expect after I put the plunger in their nose and administer the medicine?
Yes. So when you walk up to them, if they're responsive at all, so if they, maybe we're just sleeping and they, open their eyes and mumble something at you, even if somebody is responsive, they don't need Narcan. They're not experiencing an overdose in that way. So, then you would be able to just say, so if you walk up to someone and you say, hey, are you okay? Or do you need help? And they respond, we don't need to worry about it at that moment. But if not, so if they're unresponsive and you can tell, like I said, they're not breathing or they're having labored breathing, again, you would just open the package and administer the naloxone. You would also then call 911. It is important that we want emergency responders to come as well to make sure that the person's going to continue to be safe. Within that time, the naloxone takes about a minute to really work for a person. So a minute can seem like a long time. So it's okay to just wait. It might take a little bit of that time for the person to really, they will just start breathing again. It's typically not the reaction that somebody's going to be angry or combative. Usually, they will just start to experience some breaths again, and you can say, I've administered Narcan, you were experiencing an overdose, I've called 911, and leave it at that. If the person was not experiencing an overdose, so say there was a medical emergency or something else going on with them, when you administer the naloxone, nothing will happen. So this is also why we call 911, because there might be something else going on. Part of the great thing about this medication is that it has no side effects, and the only thing that it's going to respond to is an opioid overdose. So if the person was overdosed on another substance or on alcohol, Narcan's not going to be effective for them. So if there's another medical emergency, there's not going to be any other reaction. So the medication will only respond to an opioid overdose.
So that's okay. That's important. I think a lot of people were worried. Well, if I give it to somebody and they don't need it, is it going to hurt them? And to know it will not hurt them. That's important information. Also, I just want to mention, because we've sort of used naloxone and Narcan interchangeably. Narcan is just the brand name of the drug. So it's the same thing,
Correct.
right? Just want to make sure people know that. The other question is, there are concerns that people have when it comes to administering CPR or doing any other life-saving measures, that they're afraid that if something goes wrong, they could get sued for it. So should people be concerned about some kind of litigation if this, naloxone, administering it to somebody, if it doesn't go well for whatever reason, they could be liable for it?
Not at all. There is a law in Missouri. It's called the Good Samaritan 911 legislation. The law, it was passed, at least 8 years ago now, that really gives protection to somebody who is responding in good faith. So there are some clauses in it, if you were also committing a crime or if there's other reasons that the individual, might face any problems if first responders or law enforcement respond, but there is some immunity to individuals who are responding and doing so in good faith that they're protected under the Good Samaritan 911 law.
My understanding too, that we've seen more overdoses with the influx of fentanyl because it is so potent. And a lot of times people don't know that it might be in a drug that they're taking. And correct me if I'm wrong there. But I know there's also a lot of fear about fentanyl, like you're not supposed to touch it and all this stuff. Is that something that you have to think about? And again, because I just don't know that, like, okay, be careful, try not to touch the person too much, or because you could come in contact with fentanyl.
Yeah, so the concern that fentanyl is in the illicit drug supply is real, and that is driving many overdoses. So that part is right. But really, a person touching fentanyl and the amount that would be like maybe residue on a person if you're responding to them is not going to cause a reaction in a person. You would have to have touched a enormous amount. So I mean, if there's a pile of fentanyl on the street, I guess not touch it, but you're probably not going to encounter that. So really the risk is very, very minimal. Fentanyl is typically not the illicit fentanyl that's in the drug supply is not absorbed into the skin like other, pharmaceutical fentanyl patches would be. That's not happening. So the risk is very minimal that there would be any concerns in administering naloxone or Narcan to an individual that you would have any reaction in that way.
Isn't it true that the patches, they're sort of abrasive or something, which kind of breaks the skin, and that's how the fentanyl gets in, right? Like is that how it works?
Right. So
yeah. Okay.
So and that you're not going to take that off. That's not what people who are experiencing overdoses typically would be. That's not what they've had to experience the overdose. It's typically the illicit fentanyl that is mixed into the drug supply, and like you said, many times unknowingly that they've taken them.
Jenny, as we say goodbye, I did want to note the vending machines. It's free to get the Narcan. You don't need ID or money or anything. And then, because I always say we can't have nice things, are people vandalizing or taking the Narcan? Has it been working with these machines being free and open?
It has been working. So the machines, I can speak to the machines that we've had in place. We've had 4, like I said, that we kind of monitor. I'm familiar with many more in the area, but the 4 that we monitor, we've had 0 concerns around vandalism or any, we haven't had, them just kind of like wiped out thinking that people are just taking it to take it. But people are using them. We've had these in place since 2023, and there's been over 3,000 boxes of naloxone removed from them. So that's potentially 3,000 times that lives were saved. And like I said, there's been no problems with any vandalism, any kind of just complete, taking of everything out of the machines. There are some trends, we noticed like when we first put them out, they were used more frequently. And I data and information from talking to people would tell us like people were coming and getting the resource and having it with them and then maybe not needing it as often. And then sometimes when there's media or other promotion of it, we see them used more frequently. But otherwise there seems to be a pretty steady rate.
Jenny Armbruster, Executive Director of Prevent Ed. We really do appreciate the information. We discussed this yesterday, and we wanted to get somebody on who really knew about all of this. And I think this is all helpful for people listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Jenny Armbruster with Prevent Ed joining us here on KMOX. When we come back, did you see this? It's Amy Marks-Kors and Chris Ranji on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Experience the magic of the Fabulous Foxes 2025-2026 Broadway season, which includes the return of St. Louis favorite, The Phantom of the Opera, and the spellbinding spectacular Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And right now, KMOX has your chance to win a pair of season tickets for the 2025-2026 season. Prize package includes a pair of tickets for all 8 shows in the subscription package. Register now online at KMOX.com/contests for your chance to win.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
It's hot. So is it better to set my thermostat at 70, 65, 75, 80? Here's my advice to you. Set the thermostat where you're more comfortable. The difference I would spend from 75 to 80, are you ready for your savings? Now remember, this is for 3 months. In my opinion, you could save $10 to $15 a month. Or I can say, I'm still uncomfortable, so lower it, 70 degrees. So now you're spending $10 to $20 more a month for 3 months. So let's just say to 20. Let's just get crazy and think that it's going to cost you $20 more a month for your comfort. That's $60 in 3 months. Do you have an extra $60? With that being said, if your system is not cooling, then call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. God bless.
Hi, St. Louis. This is EJ Turner, one of the 6 certified arborists with Timberline Professional Tree Care. Spring and summer in the St. Louis area can mean severe weather and storm cleanup for homeowners. Fallen branches or entire trees are not only unsightly, but they can be extremely dangerous. Each year, hundreds, if not thousands of homeowners are injured or even killed while trying to trim, remove, or clean up trees that have fallen. These injuries are often the result of falls from ladders or roofs, cuts from the chainsaws, or the tree itself striking the homeowner. We've all seen the YouTube videos. Don't let yourself or loved one become the next victim. At Timberline, we all have the knowledge and equipment to safely and efficiently remove that tree or tree branch from your home, structure, or yard. Go ahead and save our 24-hour number to your phone. It's 636-479-7475. Again, 636-479-7475, or visit our website at stltreecare.com.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
So, Amy, Coldplay is on tour.
Yeah.
Love Coldplay. They're enjoyable.
Love Coldplay, and it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to.
So, I've not seen them live. I wouldn't mind. There's a company. Really there is a company called Astronomer, which is some sort of software company. I think they are maybe in artificial intelligence in some respects. It's like it's an over $1 billion business. So at a Coldplay concert, which just happened yesterday, they're going through the crowd and they've got the cameras on certain members of the crowd. And Chris Martin, the lead singer, is talking about who's on camera.
Okay.
And they pan to this couple, and it's a fairly older guy, and he's standing behind a woman. He's got his arms around her. And as soon as they put them up on camera, she ducks away.
Oh, no.
And he bends down.
Oh, no.
And Chris Martin says, either they're having an affair or they're very shy. Well, it turns out the man is the CEO of this company, Astronomer. His name is Andy Byron. And the woman that he's holding is the HR person at the company. Both of them are married to other people.
It couldn't have happened to a nicer couple.
It happened. It happened.
Love it.
It happened in Boston.
Yes.
She is the HR chief. Her name is Kristen Cabot. And this happened last night at the show. That's unbelievable.
This makes me so happy. Humiliate.
I mean, you got to see the video.
Adulterers.
You have to see the video because they react in a very big way, and it's like, oh my God.
Love it.
Also, I don't think it was the same show in Boston. It may have been the night before, but the Savannah Bananas were there. The Bananas coming to town this weekend at Busch Stadium starting tomorrow. and Chris Martin shouted them out, and he's talking about them, and then says something about yellow, because there's a song called Yellow, and then he goes into the song.
The song was written
So
about
the
them.
Bananas got shouted out at the Coldplay concert in Boston.
I love that this couple got caught by Chris
It's awesome.
Martin.
I mean,
That's who
you-
outed you.
You have got to search out the video. It's awesome.
I love that. Ranj, you know how I got my speeding ticket on opening day?
Yeah.
And I got a lawyer, got it taken care of. Because
I know your lawyer.
You don't want the points. And they keep saying you don't
He's
want
a
the
real
points.
ambulance chaser, this guy.
Yeah. You don't want the points. And people talk about the
His
points.
name is Brad Young.
People talk about the points. And here's why you don't want the points, Ron. This is why you don't just pay your ticket.
Oh.
So Emma Watson has
Oh,
lost
yes.
her license for 6 months. And I thought, oh my gosh, was she driving drunk? Was she doing something horrible? No, she was going 38 in a 30. She was going 38 miles an hour in a 30.
Yes.
And she lost her license because she already had 9 points on her license for speeding previously and either had just paid the tickets, I guess.
So this happened in the UK, right?
This happened in the UK.
Yeah.
And she had points on her license for previous infractions in the past 2 years. And I'm telling you, 38 and a 30, I get that it's speeding, but that is not the worst thing
No.
you can do. And to lose your license over that, that's why you don't want the points.
Did you see that there was somebody else from Harry Potter movies? I don't know who it was because I didn't watch any of them. On the very same day, had the
Zoe Wanamaker.
yes,
Mocker.
yes, and she
Yes.
was going something like 48 and a 45.
No, she was going 46 and a 40. She
Lost
got
her license.
fined 1,000 points and she can't
Oh
drive
my
for 6
God.
months.
Can you imagine
Dude,
here?
46 and a 40?
That's
They don't even
nothing.
pull you over for
They
46
don't look
and a
at
40.
you here.
So I will say in Europe, and I guess in UK, they are very like Wanamaker, however you say it. She had 9 points on her license. Maybe you can't. Maybe you have to take the points in the UK. I don't know. But that would make driving so nerve-wracking for me that you would lose your license because you were going 46 miles an hour in a 40-mile-per-hour speed limit. And I will say this. When I went to Switzerland, we went on our friend drove us across the country to get to the other side. And in this 5-hour road trip, he doesn't speed at all. And he said,
Yeah.
well, here's the thing. He goes, we have cameras all over the highway. It's not like, I hope I don't get caught. It's, you will get caught. You will get caught. The fines are so high for speeding because they're based solely on how much you make. It's a percentage of your salary. So you could be going 8 miles an hour over the speed limit and owe $7,000 in a speeding ticket. And also, again, you'll get points. You don't want the points. I will say to me, I am glad we don't have that. I like I said, I get it. You shouldn't speed, but I would be so freaked out if there were cameras everywhere all the time.
Well, there's not real inherent danger of going 5
46,
miles
yeah.
over a speed limit.
Can you imagine losing your
It de-
license,
depending
Ron,
on where you are. Oh, God,
because
no.
you went 46 and a 40?
No.
If there's a cop, you're going 44, because if you're going 40, the cop's going to pull you over because it looks suspicious. When you're going the speed limit, it looks suspicious.
Right, we give you a little leeway here.
Yeah. Oh.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris. So don't get pulled over in the UK. Do not drive in the UK.
Well, they also
Not-
drive on the wrong side of the road.
That's the other problem.
You should get a ticket
So
for
it's
that.
Not just because of the speeding tickets and the speeding infractions. It's because they drive on the wrong side of the road and you don't know how to do that. So we are in the midst of the All-Star break. Baseball picks back up tomorrow. Cardinals will be in Arizona. We would like to get Jesse Rogers' opinion on the Cardinals and on baseball, what happens with the playoff race moving forward. He covers baseball for ESPN, and he's next on KMOX.
When we started Neovitamin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitamin Original Formula Multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitamin Original Formula Multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks,
Dierbergs, and online at neovitan.com.
On the next Business of Family Business, we'll meet Walter Knoll of Walter Knoll Florists. That would be Walter Knoll III. His family's been in the floral business since at least the 1880s in Germany. He's fifth generation. Is there a sixth? Find out the answer to that, about trends in the industry and how this family business is planning for the future. I'm Debbie Monterey. The Business of Family Business is sponsored by Clayton Capital Partners, and you'll hear it here Saturday only on KMOX.
Home title theft. It's on the rise, and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document. And then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert. And that's bad news for home title thieves. So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com and sign up in minutes. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey in studio with Gloria Liu, broker, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and St. Louis's real estate expert. Gloria, while most agents make big promises, you're known for your upfront written guarantees.
My name is My Promise. While many agents promise you an unrealistic sales price just to get your business, I'll provide you with an upfront written guarantee stating if I cannot sell your home for 100% of market value, I'll pay you the difference.
Gloria, that's what sets you apart from others and why I recommend you. Folks, why risk working with just any agent when you can work with the best? Gloria Liu guarantees your sale price upfront and in writing.
Absolutely. And if I don't, I will pay you the difference. The agent you choose in this changing market matters and could cost you or make you thousands.
Sell your home with certainty, confidence, and for 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference. Call 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. It is 10 o'clock. We've got cloudy skies in downtown St. Louis, 82 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey. Former St. Louis Congressman William Clay Sr. has passed away at the age of 94.
This is Stuart McMillan. I confirmed his passing with Daryl Piggy, a St. Louis attorney and family friend to the Clays. He was the chief of staff for Lacey Clay during his time in Congress, but before that, he was intern for William Clay Sr.'s St. Louis City mayoral campaign in the 1970s.
There's so many issues he affected. I don't know if locally people recognize his influence in Congress, his influence with the Congressional Black Caucus. They know some of his major legislation like family and medical leave, the repeal of the Hatch Act. He really had an influence that was great. But the biggest thing is he was a role model for how that you fight for your principles.
William Clay Sr. passed away at his home in Silver Spring, Maryland. He was married to his wife, Carol Ann, for 71 years before she passed away in March of this year.
That is Stuart McMillan. Today is a national day of nonviolent actions called Good Trouble Lives On. More than 1,500 events taking place nationwide, including St. Louis, which is considered an anchor event. The day is about nonviolent action to what the group calls attacks on our civil and human rights by the Trump administration. The St. Louis event kicks off at 5:15 at the old courthouse, a rally in March at Aloe Plaza across from Union Station at 6. There are also events planned throughout the day in the Grove, St. Peter, Sappington, Belleville, and O'Fallon, Illinois.
Lin-Manuel Miranda says he'll use Hamilton's 10th anniversary performance on Broadway August 6th as a fundraiser for a group of nonprofits that provide immigration services. He expects it'll bring in about $3 million for a coalition named after a line in the show.
Immigrants, we get the job done.
Miranda's parents are both from Puerto Rico, but just like the Schuyler sisters, He grew up in New York. Every actor who's ever performed in the show is on the invite list. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News, New York.
Just 1 in 4 U.S. adults say President Trump's policies have helped them. That's according to a new AP NORC poll that finds underwhelming marks on key issues, including immigration, the economy, government spending, and healthcare. Overall, Trump fails to earn majority approval on any of the issues included in the poll. Britain has announced plans to lower the voting age from 18 to 16 before their next national election. The government announcing that move today as part of efforts to boost democratic participation. Scotland and Wales already allow 16 and 17-year-olds to vote in local elections.
Clouds will limit sunshine this afternoon. It'll be humid. Look for a thunderstorm or two, any of which can produce downpours and localized damaging wind gusts, the high 84. Mostly cloudy and humid tonight with a stray thunderstorm, though 71. I'm AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Cloudy and 82 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis at 10:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
With one out, the pitch, the runner goes from first. There's a long one. Left field. It's a goner out of Wrigley Field. Joel Pozo with a pinch 3 home run. Unbelievable.
Cardinals baseball picks back up tomorrow. The baseball season in general resumes tomorrow after the All-Star break. Cardinals will be in Arizona. They, right now, game and a half back in the wild card race, and they're pretty far behind right now. The Chicago Cubs for first place in the division. We're going to talk a little baseball right now. What's to come in the second half and what he sees happening here is Jesse Rogers, who covers Major League Baseball for ESPN and ESPN.com, and he's with us on KMOX. Hi, Jesse.
Hello. Good to be with you guys. What's happening?
Hey, so you tell us what's happening in this Central Division race. I've been saying the Cubs are the best team in the division, but now here come the Brewers. I declared them dead weeks ago, and now here they are again, doing what the Brewers typically do. So what do you see happening with this division?
Yeah, has any team been declared dead more often than the Brewers over the years? They seem to always rebound, whether they lose guys like Corbin Burns or Brandon Woodruff to an injury, who's now back. They know what they're doing, and I think the Milwaukee Brewers are really doing a great job at leaning into the new rules. Like, speed and defense matters more now than it did a few years ago. Well, that's Milwaukee's brand. And so they righted the ship, back in May, basically, late May, honestly. They were game under on Memorial Day, and they've been on a run since then. Offensively and on the mound, they do a good job, and Mizorowski's been a great addition there. I mean, the division is incredible in some ways. The run differential, if you add it all up, just amazing. It's as good as you're going to find in baseball, to be honest. I think it's the best run differential at the All-Star break in any division in the National League since they went to these divisions. It's a really good division, which I don't think a lot of people expected. I don't think the Cubs will be overtaken by the Brewers, but I think they will be pushed by them. I think St. Louis has already really played better than anyone thought, and I think they can stay in that wild card race, but I'm not sure they can move ahead of Milwaukee or Chicago. I kind of see the division playing out the way it looks right now. Cincinnati probably has a run in them. They have a young, good starting staff and an offense that's getting a little bit better. So I could see the Cardinals and Reds kind of fighting for a wild card spot, but I'm not sure if either one's going to get one, to be honest. It's going to be very interesting, after the top of the division there, what happens behind it.
My guess, and I think the Cardinals can go one of multiple ways at the deadline and the trade deadline coming up here in less than 2 weeks. And I think it's most likely they stick with what they have. I don't know. Maybe they trade away. I don't think they're making any acquisitions. That's at least my contention. What do you think they will do? My feeling is the Cubs are going to be aggressive. The Brewers might do something to add. I don't think the Cardinals are in that space, though. What do you think?
No, I think that's a pretty good analysis. Remember what this season was about, letting their young players have the runway to produce and let the chips fall where they may. Well, they've produced enough, along with the veterans, to be in the hunt. But I don't think they're going to change or deviate from that. They could add on the edges. Eric Fetty might get replaced, but you have McGreevy there. maybe add a little bit more depth because you can't make changes in August and September. So, look, you're in the hunt. You can't do zero. But I agree with you in terms of the big moves. I don't think the Cardinals are in that space right now. The Cubs certainly are. John Mozeliak is in the last year of his career here. So I think they would like to win for him. Well, in the Cubs case, Jed Hoyer, who's in charge there, is in the last year of his contract. So they have to win for him in a sense because he wants a new deal. I think the biggest question with the Cardinals would be if they do a little buy-sell, and the sell would be Ryan Helsley. Like, that's the guy, even though he's not having the All-Star season he had last year. Closers can get you something at this time of year. So if some team comes to St. Louis and just loves Ryan Helsley, offering the right prospect, that will be interesting because that is a situation where it's not ideal to trade your closer, but you could still compete and find an in-house replacement for 2 months. And my point is, it doesn't mean you're ripping apart a team if you trade your closer. It certainly is harder to compete. So I am interested to see if the Cardinals do a little buy-sell, but I agree with you. I don't think they're going, chips all in.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting looking at this team. When you're looking at the Cardinals, where you stand kind of depends on where you sit. It's all about perspective. If you went into the season thinking the team's not going to be that great, not that competitive, not going to make the playoffs, they're actually doing pretty darn well. But suddenly, if they are good enough where you start to think these guys could make the playoffs, they don't look as good. You start to see all of their weak points and all the reasons why they won't make the playoffs. So it kind of depends on which perspective you're viewing the team from. And if you agree that the Cardinals, if they're going to make this push for a wild card, they're going to do it with the team that they have. I'm kind of picturing the Bugs Bunny cartoon where the wagon, like they're trying to hold all the wheels on as the wagon keeps moving forward. Is that where this team is at, where every area could use a boost, but hopefully together they get the job done? Or are you looking at one big area like starting pitching that you think might be the biggest problem?
Yeah, they're interesting in that they don't do anything spectacularly well, but they're also not terrible in any area. Like they're mid-pack in a lot of areas, maybe a little bit better on defense than people thought, that kind of stuff. The back end now with Fedde and Michaelis blown up a little bit, that could use some help. Teams, and I don't know if all teams do this, but most at least look at their percentages, and there's internal percentages. We on the outside have external places like Fangraphs to look at. The Cardinals have a 28.8% chance of making the playoffs. So it's kind of getting to your point. They're kind of in it. That's not awful. It's also not great, only 30%. So you're a little bit in between, but you have to remember what their season was about first and foremost. Setting Chaim Bloom up with information. What do we have here at the end of the year? And if you start making wholesale changes just to increase those percentages by 5 or 6%, that's probably a mistake. So it goes back to your point of kind of, okay, 30% chance. We'll add a little bit here and there just because you have to. You got to give your clubhouse a chance. But we can't go from 30% to 80% by the end of this month. And so I think that's the sort of calculus here. Yeah, let's keep going. We got a shot. Let's add a little bit. But what are we going to do? We have a 0.9% chance of winning the World Series. We're not going to deviate from our plan.
Jesse, as you know, when a baseball team is not as good as the fan base wants it to be, the first thing they do is point to the manager. And Ollie Marmol's gotten a lot of criticism this year. From a national perspective, how do people around the game feel he has done as the manager of this 2025 team?
Well, that's funny because I would be more critical of Ollie in past years. This year, he was given an exact sort of goal, and he from day one had to walk a fine line. I was at spring training, long media sessions with him, trying to figure out exactly what this plan was to maybe sort of kind of compete in Mozeliak's last year, but also to give that runway I talked about so Chaim Bloom could take over with information at hand. I think he's done a pretty good job. Look, because I don't watch every single game and every single move. It's so interesting. As soon as a new manager comes in that you like, you're going to start disliking him on day one because you start to see what you think are warts. But what you mostly think are warts as a fan are just day-to-day 50-50 decisions that can go either way, or 51-49, and maybe he chose the 49% decision and it didn't work, or maybe it does work. So, again, I'm not watching Ollie Marmol's warts every day. I'm watching this plan from the beginning, which was a difficult one, and they're in the hunt, So I'd be more critical in past years than this year for sure.
And what should Cardinals fans be excited about, if at all, about Chaim Bloom when he does finally take over?
That's a good question. Obviously, the track record in Boston wasn't great, but he's got some pedigree from where he was before that. I do think it's an unusually beneficial situation to have a guy incoming and not the day-to-day pressure to make those big decisions. And while the outgoing guy gets to do that, Bloom is behind the scenes looking to, he's already implemented some things, I think, or will be restructuring some things behind the scenes, player development, drafting. The Cardinals have been at the forefront or been public and very honest about, the old ways weren't working anymore. We have to try something new. I think they've been very good, especially Mozeliak, in being honest about that. So the ability for him to do that for a couple of years now, while John makes the day-to-day decisions, I think is extremely beneficial. I think that'd be great for every franchise to do, but it's just not. It just wouldn't work because most guys don't know when they're going to retire. The team retires them, you know what I mean? Instead of choosing when you're going to retire. So I think that he's going to get a head start, and he already has one. Now, as far as what he'll do when he takes over, like I said, the track record in Boston maybe wasn't great, but sometimes in that second or third stop, you've learned enough that things can go a little bit better. So I think you got to give him a chance and hope that this year or two with him in the organization really is helpful.
Last thing I wanted to ask you, and this is a very, this is something I'm not sure baseball fans are paying close enough attention to yet, but a year from December, so 2026 is when the CBA expires. And there's this growing feeling that there's going to be a work stoppage that happens. Owners obviously want a salary cap. Players, the union does not want it. Mike DeCourcy wrote about that the union has it wrong when it comes to not wanting a salary cap. What do you suppose is going to happen with that? And are we going to have a work stoppage in a year and a half?
I mean, the answer is probably, but we're so far out that you could talk tough on each side right now, but then when you get in the room, you may have to find that compromise. The problem is the sides don't really view themselves as a partnership like some of the other, professional leagues do. It's been acrimonious for a while now, I guess maybe since COVID or before. So there's all sorts of layers to it. They're not starting from a good place, right? That's the bottom line. They're not starting from a good place. Now, to talk about a salary cap real quick, because we could do an hour on this. I think every time there's a new CBA, owners float this out there. I think they're always looking for that tipping point where fans really get on their side, media gets on their I think they think this could be their next tipping point is what? The Dodgers outspending everybody by maybe billions when it all is said and done. So they're always looking for that. What can they rally around? I think honestly, quietly, the league loves that the Dodgers are doing this because again, it puts that payroll disparity front and center. And as much as most of us want to blame some of those cheap owners, I think we all rationally do see the fact that the Dodgers bring in so much more money and can spend so much more money. It does maybe become unfair for some of the smaller markets, even if those smaller markets can spend more. So I think that they're looking for that rallying cry from the outside world to get that salary cap. The question is, can they get there, or will the union stand strong like they always have when it comes to a cap? And that's why there's likely a stoppage. But let's see. There's an economic system with a cap that can make sense. There's also probably economic systems without a cap that could make sense. If you start from scratch, there's all sorts of things you can come up with to make sure competitive balance it can be closely achieved. You're not going to quite get there. The big markets in every sport seem to have an advantage in a lot of ways, but you can get closer than we're seeing right now.
Jesse Rogers, despite what people may tell you, I appreciate you. Thank you for being with us today.
Chris, I only did it because of your co-host there. Let's be honest.
What's her name?
Yeah,
What's her name? Go ahead, say
name?
it.
Don't put Jesse in that position.
My guy.
Don't put Jesse in that position.
Jesse, you're the best.
You're the best. Take care. See ya.
Jesse Rogers, ESPN, covers Major League Baseball for ESPN and ESPN.com. Yeah, we're going to have Major Garrett on the show at 10:30. And we have our question of the week.
Hates you.
No, yeah, probably. It's my guy. All my guys hate me. Major Garrett at 10:30. We have a question of the week. You need to know about it, and we'll tell you how the voting is going so far next on KMOX.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey.
I'm Megan Lynch. This is Tom Ackerman.
From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, bright perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM, your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Just dial pound 250 on your phone and say the keyword Windows. That's pound 250 keyword Windows, or head to rbastl.com.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by one of our 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX, sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
You can follow us on Twitter at ChrisAmyKMOX, where you can find.
Not can, have to.
Okay.
You must.
At
Bad things will happen to you.
Oh, jeez.
You know that, right? If you don't follow us on Twitter at ChrisAmyKMOX, tell people what can happen to them.
Well, I don't feel that way.
Rashes?
Oh my gosh, we're getting into rashes at 11 o'clock. At any rate, Chris, Amy, KMOX, question of the week. Which is the better lake, Lake of the Ozarks or Table Rock Lake? The votes came in pretty heavy the first day or two. then filter down. And I'm just saying, we need to pick it back up. We need some more votes because we will be giving the results tomorrow. And right now, one of the lakes is running away with it. Running away with it.
I have no opinion of either lake.
I know, because this guy has never been to a lake.
Sorry, I'm not rich.
Yes.
You have to be-
lifestyles of the rich and famous at Lake of the Ozarks in Branson, Missouri. But
The only people I know who go to the lake are so rich.
yeah, like Patrick Mahomes.
Steve. Yeah. So I don't know anything about those lakes.
Interesting.
Except a lot of dead bodies, allegedly. What was the number we were told? That there was a grave site there.
Well, but that doesn't count. That's
1,600
historic.
graves they were unable to...
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about when we talk about dead bodies. That was when they built the Bagnell Dam in, what was it, 1921? Something like that?
Sure.
1931. And they built it. And they made the Lake of the Ozarks. It was over some burial ground, I believe, like you said, 1,600. But that's not what we're talking about. When we're talking about the bodies, we're talking about Party Cove, which is probably anybody you know would go there.
They don't just leave... Well, I do know people who go to party. They don't just leave people when they die.
If you can't find them.
Do you think
There are
people
people
are on
who have not been found.
You think there's a boat tied up with another boat in that string of boats in the Party Cove?
Yeah. Oh, look
And
at this
one of their
guy. Knows the details.
I know how it goes.
Knows about tying up the boats.
I've seen photos.
Okay.
And somebody falls overboard
Yeah.
from your boat and dies. You think the rest of the guys are like, oh, just keep partying.
If they're
He's
like
fine.
you, yes.
What? That's
if you
not-
picture
doesn't- no.
picture 100 U's on a
No.
boat and somebody falls off, you're not going to stop the party.
No.
You like, oh, listen, I worked hard for this weekend. I came out here. I'm not going to end the party because some dingus got drunk and fell off a boat. You would not look for him.
That's a great point.
You would not. And if it's you and your Hoosier mean friends, you guys would not look for the body.
That's a great point.
Thank you.
But we are going to fish the body out at least and finish the party.
Oh, I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
the next day you'd wake up and go, oh my gosh, wait, did Bob Barry, whatever his name is?
You think I'm friends with any Bobs?
I know that's
Actually,
right.
I do have
Bob.
one Bob friend.
Do you have a Bob
Yeah,
friend?
he's from St. Louis.
What's the oldest sounding named friend that you have?
Carl. I don't know. I think it's Carl.
Matt, you're a young person. What's the oldest sounding friend that you have who's not actually old?
I don't have any old sounding friends.
Are all your friends Jaden and Braden? That's gross.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
worst.
No, I've got lots of Nathans and Chris's and Daniels, normal
Well,
names.
those are pretty normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't have any old names.
You have any like Jocks and Kai?
No.
My brother and I have alter egos.
I've got a
where-
Lance. Lance, I thought it was a cool name.
Lance.
Yeah,
Like Lance Hildebrand.
like Lance Hildebrand.
I don't know. Oh, I do. I know some Lances. That's not really an old name, though. It doesn't
That's a
feel
cool name.
like it.
I don't think it's super old. Like I don't think any Lances signed the Constitution,
No.
but
Okay.
I think
What's the oldest name who signed the Constitution?
Braden Johnson. I'll sign the Constitution. There's no Jadens and Bradens on the Constitution. I can tell you that. Someone did point out in 50 years there are going to be a ton of like Grandpa Braden, Jaden, Aiden, Caden. Can you imagine
too many
that?
Grandma Kelsey's?
Kelsey. I thought Kelsey is a millennial name.
Well, that's
the,
pretty young.
The Gen Z is going to be Grandma Olivia's. A lot of Grandma Olivia's.
Robert is in Fenton and wants to join the show. Hello, Robert.
Good morning.
What's up?
Y'all are both way wrong on this lake thing.
Okay.
Oh,
The
thank you.
absolute best lake,
Yeah.
period, is Bull Shoals. It goes from Missouri down into Arkansas. And the east end of the lake from Theodosia straight south down the center of the lake all the way to Arkansas. Places is 2 or 3 miles wide, big coves and arms coming off. If you want to not see another boat all
Yeah.
day long, it's so easy to do on Bull Shoals.
Do you?
I love that.
Well,
Bull
Robert,
Shoals.
let me ask you this: do you have to be rich to go there?
No.
Okay. All right.
Does
I have
that
a
get-
little
does that-
pickup camper.
Yeah.
I have a little camper in the back of my pickup. I got a bass tracker. I can stay anywhere and fish anywhere or do whatever. And Bull Shoals Table Rock has like 750 about miles of shoreline. Bull Shoals is almost twice that big, at almost 1,400 miles of shoreline.
Robert, can I ask you a quick question? Sometimes you know, like the Bassmasters tournaments on TV. Is that where would they go to Bull Shoals, like where they fish in those coves, or no?
They have some tournaments down there on the pro circuit, on the pro tour. One of my younger brothers who lived down there actually fished a couple times.
Really?
We boated some fish. It was a really difficult tournament the first year.
Well,
a lot of pro teams didn't even boat a single fish.
Wow.
We boated some fish in our little John boat.
Well, thank you for calling in, Robert, because I am looking at pictures now of Bull Shoals, and it is beautiful. And that would be my goal, is to see no one else. Like when I hike, my goal is to go to a hike where I won't run into anyone else.
Yeah.
I think Bull Shoals is the lake for me.
It
looks beautiful.
All I heard was Robert has a camper and a boat, and he's trying to tell me he's not rich.
Hey, Jake,
got to be rich to go to the lake.
Jake on YouTube says 100 Chris's on one boat would need a lot of hat racks and glasses cleaners.
So?
That'd be so many hats.
Dude, I have nowhere to put all my hats in my new place.
And once they start the boat, it would look like confetti. All the hats flying off.
I'll be giving people hats, giving them away for free, for fun. Hey, you know who loves hats? Major Garrett. He's always wearing one on CBS News. Haven't you noticed? He's always wearing a Padres hat. When we come back, we're going to talk to the chief Washington correspondent for CBS News, Major Garrett, next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Dive into adventure this summer at the St. Louis Aquarium's Summer of the Shark. Get face to fin with some of the ocean's most awe-inspiring creatures in shark-themed exhibits, jaw-dropping displays, and interactive experiences for the whole family. Whether you're a fin-tastic fan or just curious, there's hands-on fun and fascinating facts around every corner at the St. Louis Aquarium. Don't miss your chance to make a splash. Plan your visit today at stlouisunionstation.com. That's stlouisunionstation.com.
Currently, it's 85 degrees. It feels like 103. Not as hot today as yesterday, but pretty humid. Could be a heavy thunderstorm around this afternoon into the evening, which could bring flash flooding and localized damaging wind gusts. High of 85, low this tonight of 71.
Speeding while driving gives you less time to react. Another car could turn out in front of you. A pedestrian could be walking their dog. Follow the speed limit to keep them safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband, the internet provider in the Pauley household. I think you'd love it if you had them as well. We've got the 2 gig package at our home. 2 gig upload, 2 gig download mirrored, and we're spending less money than we did with the cable company for lesser service. Plus, right now, they've got savings over $400 beyond their already low standard pricing. You got questions? They've got answers. Call 877-976-0711, and they've got people there who can answer all your questions, or head to their website, i3broadband.com.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This has been a test of the emergency alert system. This was only a test.
Tom Ackerman for Busey Bank and Building Community. We are proud to recognize Doorways as a building community partner. Doorways helps those who are invisible and ignored by society, people navigating poverty, homelessness, and serious illnesses like HIV. While HIV has become treatable, the number of cases continues to rise in the disenfranchised community. Building community means nobody should be invisible. Learn more about Doorways at doorwayshousing.org.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey Bank. I'm so proud to recognize Doorways, the only agency in the region dedicated to providing housing to individuals living with HIV and their family members. Doorways sees to it that clients receive on-site services to manage their lives, opening doorways to independence and opportunity. That's what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
Hey guys, Clever here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It's Major News with Major Garrett, our weekly conversation with CBS's chief Washington correspondent.
It's Thursday after 10:30, and it's time to talk to our guy, Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News and host of The Takeout, CBS News 24/7. It is Major Garrett who joins the show today. Good morning, Major.
Good morning. How is everyone?
I think Amy, we're doing great, right?
We're doing pretty well.
How's everything in Washington?
Busy, as always. It's very busy.
I know. I just feel like a little bit of Major, like a little part of you on the inside dies every time we talk to you.
What's it like? This is a serious
Poor guy.
question. What is it like to love something so much? Because you do love, politics and Washington, and you have reverence for all of these institutions, but also it's kind of dumb and exhausting. So how is that for you?
Look, I have been so fortunate in my career. When I grew up in San Diego, California, public school kid, nobody in my family had any experience in journalism at all. I was captivated by both television and written journalism. Wondered one day if I could ever get a chance to be a reporter anywhere of any kind. And then that dream sort of became more ambitious. Maybe I could make it to Washington. And if I got to Washington, maybe I could hack it. Maybe someday I could cover one presidential campaign. Maybe I have a chance to write maybe one book in my life. Those were all the most expansive dreams of my childhood in San Diego. And I've got a chance to live not only all those that I could define back then, but far beyond that. So, yes, the work is hard. The flow of news is chaotic. I have developed an ability through many, many years in this industry to, as I tell all my colleagues, conserve my energy and be ready for that thing that happens at 4:30 in the afternoon that throws everything into complete and utter chaos. And you have to shift and pivot and think anew and create a different approach to what you were planning to do all day. I'm almost 63 years old. I've learned how to conserve energy to do that. So I am, by turns, exhilarated and exhausted by this work. But I've never stopped loving it, and I've never stopped believing in it. And when I think of awards in journalism, because there are lots of them handed out, I don't compete for them very much. I don't actually believe in them all that much. The award for me, personally, the thing that I value and treasure most is when someone will stop me anywhere, at airport, train station, and say, I believe you. That's my award. And that's all I try to do.
Major, when you do look back at your career and all that you've covered, was there a better age or golden age of politics? Because I know time papers over the uglier cracks of our memories and leaves us with a cleaner finish. Was there a better time or smoother time?
So I will say this. There was a time in my career, the late 1990s, post Monica Lewinsky, when that was a very gnarled, nasty, aggressive, high-stakes battle over the future of the presidency. Was Bill Clinton going to resign over it? Republicans were going to drive him out. This impeachment saga, we hadn't seen an impeachment since Andrew Johnson, meaning we'd not seen one play out in the modern era of American communications and politics. After that, there was this sense going into 2000 with the rise of the internet, all the optimism, the end of the Cold War. This is pre-9/11. We had surpluses. We were buying down our national debt. There was a sort of genuine Republican Democratic consensus around the utility of keeping our fiscal house in order. That was a time that felt optimistic, somewhat more coherently aligned. and certainly more aligned around the idea that the U.S. economy was strong, the federal fiscal picture was getting more responsible, more sustainable. That it was a time that felt to me like we were on the verge of something really good. The 2000 election comes, there's the recount. The recount begins to shake people's sense of things, how we vote, how we count votes, how we reconcile ourselves to this. Then 9/11 comes. It's a massive, massive tectonic shock, not only to our sense of national security, our sense of emotional commitment to America, our sense of what our role in the world is. How do we respond? How do we fight back? Non-state terrorism does not lend itself to uniforms or lines of sovereignty. We all learned that. Then we changed all of our security apparatus, and all the things began to curdle in a different direction. So if you're going to ask me, is there a time that felt better, more stable, more aligned? I would say it's that sort of 1999, 2000 period where the optimism of the internet was almost all on one side. It's all going to be great. It's all going to be super. We're going to learn things and exchange things, and the economy is going to grow. And no one was afraid of divisiveness or social media or any of the downside risks of interconnectivity. So I would say that's a period of time. It probably wasn't perfect. I'm sure it wasn't, but it felt better than the times before it, and certainly than the times after it.
So let's get to the current. The Senate has approved this $9 billion worth of cuts, and it's to public media and foreign aid. So now that this has just happened, what is the reaction to it?
That the president gets his way in the end. There were detractors. There were those who brought some last-minute changes, particularly in the Senate, to foreign aid that falls under a very specific designation, PEPFAR, which is a George W. Bush project created to expand the availability of AIDS-related drugs in Africa, dramatically reduced not only the incidence, but the death rate from AIDS in Africa, among the most successful foreign aid endeavors in the entire history of our country. Lots of Republicans wanted to save that. They preserved that. But the rest of the cuts, pretty much there. I've been in Washington, as you know, since 1990. Almost that entire time, Republicans have at one level or another circled the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and NPR as either foes, real or imagined, or someone who doesn't deserve federal, quote-unquote, largesse, meaning federal subsidies. Unsuccessful until now. They are going to get that now. So this long-running part of the conservative agenda, lasting nearly 30 years, if not more, is finally going to be brought to fruition. And that's another indicator that some issues that percolated for a long time in Washington but never got anywhere, Trump gets across the finish line.
Major, it's crazy that we are where we are when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein case, and how it does seem to be the first time we've seen a true rift within the MAGA base. The Justice Department also recently filed Ghislaine Maxwell's prosecutor, Maureen Comey, who is the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey. Donald Trump did say, I don't want the support of anyone who is concerned about the Epstein files, called his supporters who were concerned about it weak. What is this yet another scandal that or rift that we'll forget in a couple of weeks, or is this something with staying power?
So when I was thinking and talking about this a week and a half ago with my staff on the takeout, I said, we have to ask ourselves this question. Will we be talking about the rift in the MAGA movement a week and a half from now? Because in my experience, those rifts don't last even a week. And if we're talking about it 2 weeks from now, then this is something different. And we're still talking about it. And it's not just you or me. The Breakfast Club talks about it. There was a joke about it on the ESPYs last night. It has percolated through popular culture for a couple of reasons. One, and we should never forget this, there were hundreds of victims of Jeffrey Epstein, and those victims suffered grievously. The Justice Department last week said there were more than 1,000. I had on my program earlier this week, The Takeout, Julie K. Brown, the most aggressive investigative reporter in this space for the Miami Herald. I asked her, did that number surprise you? She said yes. She was only aware of about 300. So it's a grand and grotesque number. And those victims are real, and they've suffered grievously. Some have been financially compensated, but none have obtained anything approximating justice. And that's a real issue, and everyone cares about that at some emotional and moral level. For the MAGA movement, Jeffrey Epstein was the embodiment of all that is noxious and, to their minds, repellent about elites protecting elites, politicos looking out for politicos, and then maybe this over-top layer of the intelligence community jumping in with some sort of mechanism to subvert justice or protect people. So it's all the things that MAGA is suspicious of or outright hates. Politicos, elites, and the intelligence community. And they were under the impression that because, to their mind, Donald Trump can't be bought, had clashed with the intelligence community over and over, won more than he lost, that he alone, singularly, would bring justice and awareness and transparency to this process. And for now, and for 2 weeks now, they have been dissatisfied with what they expected. And they expected it because they were told they were going to get it. By Trump, by J.D. Vance, by Kash Patel, by Dan Bongino, by Pam Bondi. And they are not satisfied. And they are not going away. And they are not moving on. And that's why, for the first time since I started covering this movement in August of 2015, there appears to be a genuine, not transitory, but genuine rift.
It seems like the president has done a pretty big reversal on Ukraine, saying that they are, in fact, going to assist with weapons. And he's given Russia another ultimatum, and I think it's 50 days from now. So what?
No, 48 days. It was 50 days 2 days ago. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 48 days now. So, I mean, how is this going to play out here? Because I'm not really sure what to expect, considering the reversal of opinion on it.
Yes. So on the program last night, I had former Vice President Mike Pence. He also said, by the way, joining a lot in the MAGA movement, full transparency, release all the files. That was interesting. That made news. I asked him about Ukraine, and he'd been long critical of Trump on Ukraine. And he said the president's turned around. He said isolationist voices have lost clout within the White House. Now, there is a distinctly Trumpian approach to this. It's not America sending the arms directly to Ukraine, which is the Biden policy. The arms are going to get there, but Europe's going to buy them first, and they're going to flow through NATO. That means America gets paid and is not just donating, if you will, the arms. Trump needs a transaction. Always, always, always needs a transaction. And to his mind, Europe paying for it is better than us giving it. And I think many in the MAGA movement are probably satisfied with this. The most important part of this, though, is he now identifies the need for weapons in Ukraine to sustain the Ukrainian fight against Russia, a U.S. national security priority. That is not where he started his administration in January, not remotely close. This is a big U-turn, and it's a significant one. And it very well may change Russia's calculations. All week long, they've been saying, we don't care, we're not listening, we don't believe these threats. But weapons on the ground make the Ukrainians more lethal and make Russia's wartime aims more difficult, and that's a big shift.
Major Garrett, we appreciate talking to you every Thursday. Thank you once again, and we apologize in advance for when the Cardinals overtake the Padres in the wild card race. Just letting you know.
Hey, it's great for both cities. We got good ball clubs. It's going to be a great July, August, and September. I wish the Cardinals just enough success to finish one half game behind the Padres.
Yeah, so we know San Diego as a city longs to catch up with St. Louis.
Yes, exactly.
They always look at us with envy, don't they?
They do look at us with envy.
Yes, we do. Yes, we are envious. I will admit it.
Thank you, Major.
See you guys.
Major Garrett, Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News. Watch The Takeout. It is very good on CBS News 24/7, and Major is the best.
The best.
It's Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Can't get enough baseball? Start streaming MLB Network today. Get up to 15 out-of-market games a week live on any device, plus 24/7 access to MLB Network's award-winning shows, including live game look-ins and exclusive player interviews. And hear live radio play-by-play from all 30 clubs with MLB at Bat. Enjoy the home of baseball from virtually anywhere. Plans start as low as $5.99 per month. Sign up now at MLBnetwork.com/stream. Available in the U.S. only. Blackout restriction applies. Visit MLB.com/subscribe for full terms and conditions.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 Acts of Kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
Hey, it's Matt, your Leaf Filter Trusted Pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Chris Ranji for Siteman Cancer Center, and you have to know that you are somebody's favorite person, and your health matters not just to you, but it matters to people who care about you. Getting screened early for any cancer, whether it's colon or breast cancer, prostate cancer, or lung cancer, it is important to do that. Siteman has set up a website called GetScreenedNow.com. And when you go to it, it's going to help you find a location nearer you. If you live a little farther out from St. Louis and don't want to make the trip into the city, you can get screened closer to home. GetScreenedNow.com, because for me, I'm over 45. It's time for that colonoscopy. Third leading cause of cancer-related deaths in both men and women. And GetScreenedNow.com will help you find a location that is good for you. Doing it early, really, really important. GetScreenedNow.com.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Well, alongside Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical. Yep. We've been embarking on 100 Acts of Kindness, also celebrating 100 years of KMOX radio here in St. Louis. And our charity of the week is the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. They do incredible work. I know, like I said, a couple of years ago, we talked to someone from the Crisis Nursery and how they needed volunteers to rock babies, which is so sweet. But they are there 24/7 for someone who might be experiencing sudden homelessness or an illness or an addiction or whatever it may be. whatever challenge, struggle you're going through. You can call their phone line 24/7. They are there to be with those children if the parents cannot.
Yeah, the phone number is 314-768-3201. 314-768-3201. You could just also go to crisisnurserykids.org. And I love that that you can, because when a crisis is happening, you cannot guarantee that it'll happen at noon.
I feel like it never does. I feel like
it's
it
always in the
happens
middle of the night.
And also at 365 days a year. And as they say, this way, families in crisis have access to immediate, non-judgmental crisis intervention, resources, and support. It's pretty incredible. 4,000 kids a year. 4,000
Getting helped
babies,
by this
4,000 little ones being helped by St. Louis Crisis Nursery. You can go to crisisnurserykids.org to make a donation, to get involved, to volunteer. So very, very cool. And we'll actually be chatting with someone from St. Louis Crisis Nursery tomorrow.
Yeah. On Monday, by the way, it will be 39 years that they have been going strong. So I think that's just really, really cool.
Yeah.
So Molly Brown, you mentioned, we'll be talking to the CEO. That will be tomorrow. Just to give her an opportunity to give you a little more detail, the listener, on what the Crisis Nursery does. So we recommend you go to crisisnurserykids.org. You can donate straight there. There's a little button in the top right, and you can click on it and make a donation. But this is a charity that is doing very, very good work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So also yesterday with Rankin Jordan and their new golf program.
Yeah.
And, or I shouldn't say new golf program, but they renamed the golf program.
Kevin Korn
Golf Academy. And some of the kids that Kevin had helped, like for the first time when they were still in hospital beds. And he said, the golf ball doesn't know if you're standing or sitting or lying down. The golf ball doesn't know if you only have one arm. The golf ball doesn't know that one of the kids, like that he helped, who had severe burns all over his body, didn't have any fingers, didn't have toes yet. And they were able to attach the golf club to this child's arm so that he could play golf as well. But some of the kids that he helped got better through the great care of Rankin Jordan, went to high school and played golf on their high school teams. How cool is that?
That's very good.
So the Kevin Korn Golf Academy at Rankin Jordan, very cool. And again, you can visit Rankin Jordan's website to donate, to volunteer, and the great work that they're doing there for kids who are dealing with some of the most complicated illnesses or physical issues.
And we want you to continue to. We have multiple ways you can get a hold of us on Twitter at ChrisAmyKMOX. You can text into the show at 314-436-7900. Leave a voice message on the Odyssey app. We'd like you to recognize somebody that you don't think is getting the recognition they deserve for good work they are doing. And there are a lot of people we talk about St. Louis being a charitable city, and it is very good in that regard.
Yeah.
In terms of that, there are a lot of people here who want to do good work and do good work, and a lot of them go unnoticed. So if you think there's somebody out there that deserves to be noticed, tell us about them.
And yes, we do want to hear from you, especially since at 11, we're going to be talking about someone who deserves to be noticed for the wrong reasons.
I love this lady, by the
Haddix.
way. I love this lady.
The chimp crazy lady. A judge has ordered that she be arrested. She failed to show up to court this week.
Free the chimp lady.
No, come on, man.
Free
you
chimp
have the
lady.
Worst campaigns.
What? I want to save our sheriff. I want to free the
my-
chimp lady. Save my sheriff.
You're the only one.
Well, but he is our sheriff. He's your sheriff, too. Amy Marks Course, Chris Ranji. Final hour of the show is coming up next. Gas House Gang at 12 o'clock. Bernie Miklasz and me, Chris Ranji, on KMOX.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling a bit uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Views, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
We can get more sleep, we can get more sun, and we can get more exercise, but the one thing we can't get more of is time. It's time to eliminate the one phrase that could be holding you back from reaching your retirement goals. I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's time to pick up the phone and make the call to Gary Goldberg and the team at Financial and Tax Strategies, 314-991-9005, or online at checkwithgary.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial, Inc., an FFC registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Gary Goldberg, NPN number 918-615.
The Dave Glover Show.
If you sit down with me and we talk about who I am, what I am, my values, political, voting record, you're never going to walk away and go, that guy's a bleeding heart progressive. I'm just not stupid. And I just don't take bait. And I just don't do things because you tell me to, or that I'm afraid that if I don't, fall in line or get on the bandwagon, people aren't going to like me. Been there, done that for years.
The Dave Glover Show, now on FM 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 11 o'clock. We've got cloudy skies, 85 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Former St. Louis Congressman William Lacey Clay Sr. passed away this morning at the age of 94.
Longtime family friend and St. Louis attorney Daryl Piggy says William Clay Sr. passed away at his home in Silver Spring, Maryland. Before serving as the chief of staff for his son Lacey Clay, Piggy worked for Clay Sr.'s campaign when he ran for mayor of St. Louis in the late 1970s.
I got a chance to see and hear what was going on, not so much from the campaign, but how it affected the congressional office, and just got to see the strong leader that he was. So, like I said, he set a tone for us just because he stood for principles, and the principles were stronger than anything, and that's what he taught us, that you got to stand behind what you believe in.
Clay was married to his wife Carol Ann for 71 years before she passed away earlier this year in March. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
St. Louis City Board of Police Commissioners held their first meeting today.
Much of the meeting was spent acknowledging resolutions and appointing leadership. However, during the meeting, Mayor Kara Spencer reiterated her preference for local control over the police department. Still, the city has yet to file any lawsuit opposing the takeover, and Spencer voted in favor of all motions. I asked her if she has a timeline for when she would like to file litigation by.
Do you have a deadline of when?
No, I don't think there's a deadline. Look, so much of this
you
is
might file one a year from now?
Well, look, we are seeing how this unrolls. And those are important components here.
The board also re-upped a body camera contract with current provider Utility after questions surrounded the procurement process for a different company to replace them. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Calls growing from both sides of the aisle for the Justice Department to release more information on billionaire sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, while President Trump is digging in on the controversy, calling the story nothing but a hoax.
We've seen Republicans, not only right-wing influencers and commentators, but also
voters and supporters who CBS News' Olivia Rinaldi talked to yesterday in Pennsylvania who are still demanding more information.
That's CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand. Trump calling Republicans and supporters talking about Epstein weaklings whose support he doesn't want. The former Mom's Deli building on Jamison in South City has been sold. The new owner says a tenant is lined up. Kyle Kramer with Big Lou Properties tells the Business Journal more details on that tenant will be shared soon. Big Lou bought the property for $235,000. Mom's Deli was a longtime crowd favorite, but closed suddenly earlier this year during a sibling dispute that ended in a court decision that the sister running Mom's Deli could be evicted. The eatery closed that same week.
Clouds, limited sun, and humid this afternoon with a thunderstorm around that can produce downpours and localized damaging wind gusts to high 84. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a thunderstorm in the area, low 71. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is cloudy and 85 degrees now in downtown St. Louis at 11:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Okay, so the story about the chimp crazy lady in Missouri is ridiculous, and it's kind of funny because you're like, oh my gosh, it's the chimp lady. But man, oh man, Ronch, I mean, when you really look into the story, I hope this woman goes to jail for the rest of her life. Like, it's awful what she put these chimpanzees through. But anyway, the latest update from this week is that a St. Louis County judge has ordered that Tanya Haddix, the HBO documentary Chimp Crazy lady, that she be arrested because she failed to show up for court this week. Now, if you kind of remember the chimp issue, it was here in Festus that Tanya Haddix had chimpanzees on her property. And this is a years-long legal battle between Tanya Haddix and people for the ethical treatment of animals. Now, I know sometimes we kind of like laugh at PETA because they're a little bit over the top, throwing paint on people, getting mad at other things. But they have a real case here because Tanya Haddix not only had multiple chimpanzees in pretty awful conditions, but she also specifically had the movie star Tonka. Tonka the chimp was in movies like Buddy and George of the Jungle, which is a great movie. Brendan Fraser.
Why are you laughing?
It is.
Why?
Brendan Fraser's best
I don't know
performance.
why that was so funny.
Was he better in that than the whale?
Yes. Yeah.
Much better shape,
and the
too.
girl who does the lotion commercials now.
I've not seen this film.
It's a great movie.
Can you call it a film?
Leslie Mann, isn't it?
Leslie Mann.
Ursula, I found your scrunchie. Anyway, it is a film. It's a film. It's a great film. But Tonka was in it. So at any rate, back in 2017, PETA sued Tanya Haddix, saying that she had several chimpanzees, including Tonka, the star, in inadequate conditions. Haddix agreed to improve the conditions at her now defunct Missouri Primate Foundation. Okay, so she failed to comply with that agreement, and the chimps that were still there were removed from her facility in 2021. The thing is, the officials never found Tonka. So Tanya Haddix and her husband claimed that Tonka had died. And her husband signed an affidavit that he had cremated the body. The thing is, PETA later found Tonka the chimp in the basement of Tanya Haddix's home in Sunrise Beach, Missouri, near the Lake of the Ozarks. And the picture here is really awful. It's a tiny little cage in a dark basement, and Tonka the chimp is there, and it's very, very sad. Now, last year, there was an HBO documentary that showed Tanya
Chimp Crazy
Haddix, and her lying about the whereabouts and so forth. A judge in 2023 ordered Haddix to pay $225,000 in attorney's fees to PETA in its lawsuit, but she hasn't paid. She had court dates last week. She didn't show up. So the judge now has said that she needs to be arrested.
Okay. All right.
She and her husband, because Judge Brian May ordered Tanya Haddix and her husband to show up on a hearing on Monday and say, you need to tell us why you didn't provide the documentation, and neither of them showed up.
Unless you are, I need to get to the bottom of the psychology of having so many animals on your property, unless you are running a legitimate sanctuary business, which this person really wasn't, right? So what is that psychology like? What is it that possesses you to want to have all of these animals that you really can't take care of? What is that?
I mean, I do think it's some kind of illness at worst, imbalance at best, because you're not healthy. You're not in a healthy state of mind. It's an obsession. I mean, Ranj, like I said, because it's so ridiculous and bizarre that there's chimpanzees, and she looks like kind of a caricature of someone who might do this, right? She's kind of she's a lot to look at.
She looks, when I see her, I think of the tiger lady,
Yes.
Carol Baskin.
Yes,
That's what she just looks like to me.
She has that vibe. And so in some cases, or in some ways, you kind of like, oh my gosh, this is so bizarre. It's actually really sad. And you have to be pretty sick. You have to be sick in the head to have these animals locked up in tiny cages in a dark basement, and then to lie about Tonka. So you're like obsessed because you want this chimpanzee. You know, in some of the crazy movies, like the murder movies where the obsessed lover, kills the girlfriend or the boyfriend or whatever. It's like that vibe, but with a chimpanzee.
It's also the vibe to me of somebody who is, and I think this is probably a little sadder, and that's somebody who hoards and just has so much stuff, and maybe they've got multiple cats and they don't really know where the cats are, what they do, and you have a company come in and start to clean the place out, and they find dead cat carcasses. They find dead cats because the place is just so filthy that they had no idea where this cat has been for years, and it's been dead and skeletonized somewhere. To me, it's that same sort of mindset, which you're right, it's an illness. I don't understand how you get to this point. And we can joke about it and laugh about it. Ultimately, it's not that funny.
It's not funny.
No, I mean, I know. I think we're more joking about her illness if she has one.
Well, here's a news story here. This is from 2024 when the documentary came out.
Yeah.
Quote, Missouri residents who witnessed the documentary's actual events in Festus were definitely watching through their fingers, but weren't bananas about the situation. Who wrote that? Why would you write that?
Who wrote it? The most clever person they have on staff. That's who wrote that.
This is a serious conversation.
They weren't. Okay, I take it back. This is hilarious.
I mean,
they weren't bananas about it.
I mean, I know, that's what I mean. That's why this is I have mixed emotions on this because it's actually pretty horrible, and I'm on PETA's side. And when was the last time you heard me say that? But I'm on PETA's side, and I do think she should go to jail because it's cruel, but also, like I said, scary. It's scary if you could do that to another living thing. Keep them locked up in a dark basement.
Of course.
Yeah, sorry, you weren't responding.
I've and I'm with you on PETA.
Yeah.
There are times where I think they're joking. Sometimes they are so ridiculous. I think they're doing
Were they the
a
ones
bit.
that dumped the poop on the street?
I don't remember.
Then it was frozen. Like they ordered a bunch of manure to be dumped somewhere. At any rate, yes, you think they're crazy sometimes.
Yeah, so because a lot of the stunts are just
insane.
They are insane.
They're hurting their cause.
Exactly, because they are they're right. They're right for wanting ethical treatment of animals, and we should all want that. And I think humans in general have decided that we're not going to treat animals poorly.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are more concerned about how animals are treated than other people. So I agree with them on that, but there are just times they are insane, and it does absolutely hurt the cause. I completely agree with you on that. I don't remember the poop thing, though.
Yeah, I'll find it. But anyway, the story is bizarre because, again, they had the chimp transfer originally. Remember when the judge, when Tanya Haddix was in the original lawsuit and she said, I'll improve my conditions for my chimp sanctuary. She did not. So officials came, removed all the chimpanzees, but could not find Tonka, the star. So PETA offered a $10,000 reward to anyone who could help locate Tonka or confirm his death. Because again, they had signed an affidavit that he had died. But then an actor and former Tonka co-star, Alan Cumming, the actor.
Yeah. I know he is.
He also matched that $10,000 reward because he knew Tonka. Now, again, as Tonka was eventually found in the basement. And so she is facing these issues. But can I guess they know where she is. They're going to arrest her.
Haddix?
Yeah, Tanya Haddix. So,
I don't know.
A few days ago, I was running.
Oh, no.
Well,
She's not in your neighborhood, dude.
No, it's not. I was running. I saw a license plate that was chimp related. It was chimp related.
It was a chimp-related license plate. So you think that she's hiding out in your neighborhood?
Well, no, in the area.
That's the bottom line.
Not my neighborhood, but in the area.
She's not hiding out in your area.
I've seen it now twice.
No.
Dude,
you think she's
who else would have a chimpanzee-related license plate?
Look, there are 3 million, 2.6 million people. Is that right? In the entire St. Louis area, somebody else has a chimp license plate. It's not her.
Do you know how much you have to kind of be chimp crazy to have a chimp license plate?
Speaking of crazy, I am on the PETA website right now.
Yeah.
And they have 13 surprising facts about PETA.
Okay.
And when I got to this website, you know how I said I think they're joking sometimes and doing a bit? At first I thought, okay, is this real?
Mm-hmm.
It is. This is on their website. 13 surprising facts about PETA. The very first surprising fact, we are pro chicken meat.
What?
Hold on. We are pro chicken meat as long as it's grown in a laboratory.
Oh, gross. Okay.
That's the very first thing.
So, Ron, as we tie a neat ribbon on this, in January of 2025, two PETA activists were arrested in New York City because they were going to dump a truckload of manure outside the ASPCA's office. Yes, PETA's going after the ASPCA. And their protest was intended to criticize the ASPCA's endorsement of certain animal welfare certifications, which I guess they didn't like. The thing is, it was so cold in New York that when they tipped the dump truck bed to dump the manure on the street, it didn't go anywhere. It was frozen solid. The manure was frozen solid.
Oof.
So the poop didn't go on the street, and the two PETA activists were arrested. Protesting the ASPCA. These guys need to get life. Get a life.
Well, they did say that, according to their website, they do say that they take it easy on celebrities. They give them the benefit of the doubt. When a celebrity is wearing fur or exotic skins, They send a polite letter first.
And then throw paint on them?
And then they throw paint on them. That is Amy Marks Kors over there. I am Chris Ranji. If you know the whereabouts of the chimp lady, let us know. 314-436-7900. Text the show. Leave us a message on the Odyssey app. Whatever you feel like doing. Follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX. It's 104.1 FM.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me, 314-441-4444. Why pay more than $2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hey guys, Dave and Rach here for our good friends at SmartMouth. So it is unique by the very definition of the word. It's the only mouth rinse out there with 2 chemicals that combine to prevent bad breath for 24 hours a day with just 2 rinses a day.
Never have bad breath again. You can find SmartMouth locally at Schnucks and Deerbergs or at Walgreens, Walmart, and Amazon. Visit smartmouth.com to snag a special discount on your next SmartMouth purchase. That's smartmouth.com/Glover.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler go.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-317-1890. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-317-1890. 800-317-1890. 800-317-1890.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium. Explore the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station.
Amy, what you wanna do?
Well, as you know, yesterday, the Gas House Gang with Chris Ranji, co-hosted by Tamar Scher of KMOV and Alexa Dat of FanDuel Sports Network Midwest.
Yeah, we had a nice time yesterday.
And they're awesome. Really great sports journalists. And I think they're good friends with Katie Wu, who writes for The Athletic, who is a brilliant reporter, sports reporter. And I want to be friends with them.
Why?
Well, because they're kind of cool. Here's the thing. I don't think I'm in the group. And I would love to be in that group.
Oh, you are not in that group.
I know I'm not in the group. But I kind of want to be in the group.
Do you understand why you're not in the group?
Well, just because they're young and beautiful and talented doesn't mean that I can't be in the group.
No, that's not why. It's because you're not fun.
What?
You are not fun. My impression of them is they want to have people in the group who are fun. You are the opposite of fun.
I do feel like I was a little bit of a wet blanket. Here's the thing. Not when I meet people, but when I talk to people, I have to do so with an energy and an enthusiasm that is sustainable, because I can't be too excited all the time, because that's not how I am. I mean, I'm way more excited than you are, and I'm more delightful, and I'm happier and kinder. But what I mean is, I can't be like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. So I need them to know the real me. And so I was trying to win them over yesterday, but here's what happened yesterday, guys. So here's the thing. I want to be in the group with Katie Wu and Tamar Scher and Alexa Dat, because they're cool and they're in the sports world and they're awesome. And I want to be in that group. And so anyway, that's something that I've been wanting for a long time. And yesterday I had a workout in Forest Park, right, with my Forest Park Track Club. And it was super sweaty out there and it was gross. And I had to get cleaned up. But the thing is, the workout went long and I thought, oh my gosh, I have 10 minutes to get into, I still have my old apartment. So I had to go into my old apartment, shower. So I had to pack a bag because nothing's there anymore. And I didn't want to be late. So I showered, but I had to wash my hair because I was sweaty, but I couldn't dry it. I couldn't fix my hair. So I went to work with wet hair. Didn't have time to put makeup on. I don't wear a lot of makeup, but every little bit helps. And I didn't have time for that. I just put some lotion on my face. And then I picked out a pair of jeans and a white t-shirt because that always matches. Well, it was one of those oversized crew neck white t-shirts, which doesn't do a whole lot for me, but I like it. And then a pair of wide leg jeans that happened to be frayed at the end. I looked like with the low ponytail and the flat wet hair. I looked like I had just finished painting a basement. And I thought, here's what I said when I walked in. I hope we don't have any in-studio guests. Well, not only were all of our guests in studio, but we also had Tamar Scher and Alexa Dat in studio. And I looked like a real doofus. I didn't look like somebody that I'd want to hang out with. Anyway, I want them to come back and I can fix my hair up.
Amy, I don't want to tell you this. It's not about your appearance.
I think it didn't help.
It's about what you bring to the table otherwise. Do you
helped.
think these fun people, this
Yeah.
group of fun people
Yeah.
you're talking about, like Alexa and Katie
Yeah.
and Tamar, do you think they want you to come out and start talking about the Supreme Court Miranda decision from the 60s? They don't want to hear you talk about that stuff.
Okay.
You
okay.
are objectively boring.
Well,
That's your problem.
devil's advocate, though. Let's say you're three cool, fun-loving, successful young ladies. And then you meet this slightly older, slightly frumpier, slightly less fun lady. Wouldn't she be a perfect foil when you go out to highlight just how fun and young and awesome the
Who's
other
this lady you're talking about?
Me, I'm the older
Oh my
frumpy
God.
lady.
If you
Why
call
would I not be a foil? Why would I not be a perfect foil? See, I would be the other people. Would go, oh wow, look at old Maud over there. I don't know. And then I think I'd be a great person to bring along with the group.
Well, because you think you would make them look better?
Even better. Yeah, they don't need to look better, but I mean, they would come across as that much more fun.
No. I'll tell you what would happen. If you go out with those women,
Yeah.
you go to some fun place. I don't
Yeah.
know where it would be.
Let's
but
go.
you,
Let's go get drinks. If I say, hey,
Okay.
hey, ladies, want to go get drinks?
You know what they would do?
What?
All 5 of them.
5.
I think there's like 5
I
or 6.
named 3. There might be bigger. But
Okay, well,
I mean more
let's say that they're
bigger.
the 3 of them.
Yeah.
They would all excuse themselves to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. And not
they
come
would-
back.
Well, first of all, they wouldn't invite you
Well,
because you're supposed to invite all the other ladies to go with you. They would not invite you, number 1. And then number 2, they would not come back. You're correct. They would go somewhere else. And you would still be sitting there and wondering where they all went. Meanwhile, they're off to the next fun place.
this is why I blame my guy friends, because looking like a painter, in baggy frayed jeans, like I just painted the basement in a white t-shirt and wet hair because I didn't have time to fix it. No makeup because I didn't have time. That works when you go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I
Okay.
think I spent too much time in Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, that's your problem. This texter says they don't want to watch Murder, She Bakes. Right. They're not watching that, and they do not give
hurtful.
They do not care about Barefoot Contessa.
Oh, come on.
You're the only
No.
person who likes that show.
Ina Garten is really cool. I bet they like her because she was worked in nuclear energy in 3 presidential administrations. Her
Mhm.
husband is the dean at Yale.
Yeah, these are the conversations they want to have. Do you understand? Like right now, you're perfectly illustrating why they don't want to hang out with you.
Oh, so you're saying they don't sit around reading Rudyard Kipling
Nobody
poetry?
does. Nobody does.
I think they might.
No,
I
they
think you're
don't.
not giving them enough credit.
It-
Tamar
it's-
Scher journalism degree.
No. It's not about.
Indiana?
It's
She's
not.
a genius.
No, hold on. It is not about whether or not they are intellectual, smart, because they are. It's not about that.
Okay.
It's that when they go out,
Yes.
people who are out want to have fun out.
I am so fun.
They don't want to talk about Justice Breyer.
I didn't.
They want
first
to. They
of
want
all,
to talk about.
That would not be my go-to justice to talk about.
This is what I'm talking about. You have a go-to justice.
You know,
they don't want to hang out with
Do
you.
you know the difference between a lawyer and a judge? A judge knows a senator. Do you know the difference between a judge and a justice? A justice knows the president.
Yeah, why don't you tell that joke when you're out with them and see how it lands?
Is that a joke or a fact?
I don't know what that is. It's embarrassing.
I think it's a fact.
Well, it's not funny.
So it can't be a joke.
Matt, you think I'm fun?
There's something.
Shut up, Matt.
There's something fun about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's end the segment. Stop. Play some music.
The text message here says, Chris, would it be so difficult for you to compliment Amy and not be so negative?
Yeah.
You are, after all, supposed to respect your elders. You got roasted again. You thought you were getting a compliment.
Like a peanut. I'll roasted. At any rate, my goal, I will keep you all updated. I would love to be part of the group.
We should have named the segment Amy Sucks.
Oh, well, that's not even close to what we were talking about.
Yes, it is.
was
That's why
more
they don't want to
boring.
hang out with you.
So, there's a difference between sucks and boring.
Boring
There's a
sucks.
difference. I don't think so.
I think you're a nice lady.
I think you can.
What? Say it.
Nope.
Say it. Say it with your chest. Say it. Put some bass into it, Amy.
This is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
This isn't your typical lunchtime baseball chatter. This is the Gas House Gang.
I'll say this. Here's my perspective.
Tom Ackerman, Chris Ronti, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring smart, informed Cards talk. And every Tuesday,
we welcome in the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
You want real Cardinals conversation? You're in the right place. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of baseball.
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L, 544-3600.
We started Neoviten because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neoviten 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neoviten 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neoviten.com.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband, the internet provider in the Pauley household. I think you'd love it if you had them as well. We've got the 2 gig package at our home, 2 gig upload, 2 gig download mirrored, and we're spending less money than we did with the cable company for lesser service. Plus, right now, they've got savings over $400 beyond their already low standard pricing. You got questions? They've got answers. Call 877 877-976-0711. And they've got people there who can answer all your questions, or head to their website, i3broadband.com.
Baseball's All-Star Week is underway. Cardinals baseball, it returns Friday night when they take on the D-backs.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Text message, Amy, to 314-436-7900 following our conversation about you not being fun.
Yeah.
And why you're not in the cool group. This message says, you sound like you would fit in at every lawyer happy hour. We are, quote, attorney cute, which is a frumpier, lower standard. There you go.
I think
you
so.
need to befriend some attorneys and hang out with them.
Already do. So that probably explains it.
There you go.
Yeah, there are certain attorney bars. It's kind of funny. But no, I did want to be, and I know we're going to move on from this, but I forgot the most important part of why I'm not in the group. Because, see, during the Gas House Gang, Ronj and Matt Pajeski are short-term producer.
Oh, hang on.
They were in the room with Alexa Dat and Tamar Scher. I was in the office working as I always do while they're doing whatever it is they do in here. And I had my ice pack on my ankle because I remember heard it 6 months ago and I had a workout and I've been trying to ice it after the workout because it's swelling and it's bad and my ankle is broken for the rest of my life. And Tamar Scher and Alexa Dat came in and they said, oh, we should get a picture. And I stood up and I took the ice pack off my ankle. I was like, oh, sorry, I got this on. They're like, oh, no, what happened? And Matt goes, she has a rash.
Well, you may have. I don't know.
She has a rash. And I laughed. I was like, no, I hurt my ankle. And I took the ice pack off, the classic rash solution, an ice pack. And I took the ice pack off. And they're like, I feel like I'm 70% sure they knew it was a joke, but 30% sure they might have been grossed out.
Well, why didn't you should have clapped back at him.
You can't clap back.
You could have said something like, Matt has a rash too, but you can't see it.
Well, okay.
Oh, that's rude.
Right.
Well, I think because I'm pretty confident in who I am. Like for you, you say a lot of mean things to me, as the texters pointed out. I'm pretty confident in who I am.
Well, that one texter said I shouldn't be, and then they went on to insult you worse.
But I'm kind of like, I kind of am happy. I don't know what to say. I like it. I have fun. So I don't really feel the need to clap back, but I'll think of something.
For Matt?
Yeah.
The moment passed. It's too late.
Well, like there's not going to be another?
Well, yeah, there will be another.
No, there's not going to be another because they're not going to hang out with you. They're not coming back anytime soon. So that was the one shot.
I meant towards me.
Okay.
Yeah. But don't worry. I'm a girl, so I'll stew on this and find your weakest, deepest insecurity and find a way to broadcast that eventually.
I'm scared now.
No, it's I think I'm fun. Here's the thing. I'm a little uptight.
Nobody.
I'm a little uptight.
That's that. So you have.
But this is a wilder version of me. So
there are multiple versions of unfun. One of them is a liability. Like this person is just too nuts, and every time you go out, you're going to get into some sort of trouble.
Sure.
You can't. Right. That's one. The other is the complete opposite. It is the uptight person.
Yeah.
And both are not fun.
Well, yeah,
there are
I guess.
many versions of unfun.
But there's also many different types of fun.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Amy Marks Kors.
Training for the Olympic trials was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Oh,
that's fun.
You should tell your new group of friends how much fun you had.
But the thing is, when you train for the Olympic trials, you can't really go out late at night because you got to get up and you got to sleep. So I think that's what I mean. Those two funs are pretty much mutually exclusive unless you're just a stud and 20 years old and you can do both. But I can't do both. I can't stay up late and train. All right. But speaking of things that we like to do and good days, there was a new study that came out looking at which states have the most good days. But I think what they mean are people in the states, not like best weather days. For states.
No. Yeah.
Yes. They surveyed 5,000 Americans evenly split across all 50 states and look at the average American experiences how many good days each year. What do you think that number is? Do you know?
So I know what the number is, and I'm going to tell you it is way higher than I thought it would be.
So
it is so much higher than I
a
thought.
new national survey says the average American experiences 252 good days each year. It's
Wow.
the annual bowl half full report. Okay. It gets even more niche. Conducted by Talker Research on behalf of Icelandic Provisions.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what
All
any
right.
of those words mean.
All right.
And it examines the habits, mindsets, and routines that shape Americans' daily optimism. This goes from sleep quality to screen time to meals and morning rituals. And it, quote, uncovers what fuels a good day and who's having the most of them. Most people know by 8:30 a.m. whether or not they're going to have a good day.
That's see, I don't think I decide that
I don't either.
by the time I wake up. That's like I don't know if I agree with that, but I guess other people do, right? They've already decided by the time they get up and get showered, have breakfast, get to work, whether or not the day is going to suck. Maybe sometimes that's true, but don't you think your day can change?
I guess also, okay, so the state with the highest number of good days overall was Florida.
Yes.
They averaged 276 good days a year, which means only 89 bad days. On the other end of the spectrum, Connecticut, Kentucky, and Vermont, pretty random, all reported the fewest good days per year. Not sure what's going on in Vermont. They seem like a pretty happy state, but they're not. It's just, how do you define a good day? Because you can have a day where some bad stuff happens and it's still a good day.
I suppose it's the kind of person you are, right? If one bad thing happens, it can ruin your entire day. Other people don't let it happen, and it's the severity of it. It's what's interesting is in this list. So 276 on average good days. That's Florida. That tops the list, as you've mentioned. We in Missouri and Illinois both average 252 good days. What is even more interesting is almost every single state in this region is 252. It's us, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Kansas, Nebraska, Minnesota, North Dakota. 252 good days a year you average if you live in any of those states.
So,
and Michigan.
So, okay. So you're looking at all of those states, which is a pretty good average, which means just fewer than 1/3 of your days are bad days. So just over 2/3 of your days are good days, just fewer than 1/3 are bad days. And again, it's kind of funny how they define this. In this study, food plays an especially important role in good days. Nearly all Americans, 93% of Americans agree that a good day is largely dependent on getting nourishing food throughout. So when you look even closer, respondents said they need high protein, low sugar, nutrient rich foods to have a good day. So, I mean, but yeah, that's why this definition here is super fluid. But I get it. In order to feel good, I can tell you a rough day is when you're a little backed up. That's not a good day.
I feel very thankful.
That's not a good day
in my life that I
Yeah.
have not had that issue, and I've been around.
It's one of my
I've
worst
known
fears.
people.
Yeah.
I had a roommate who
No,
just
don't
was
even.
constantly consta. This
No.
guy was always
No.
this guy was always having trouble, and just I mean, there was Metamucil laying around. That must really suck, and I agree with that. But the one thing I think this is my, there are a number of different things that can give you a good day, but I really truly believe the thing that can make you have the best day, unless there's some sort of outside incident that occurs, is if you get good sleep.
Yeah.
If you sleep well the night before, how your next day feels changes dramatically. Like if you get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
And so maybe there is a lot of truth to that. You have decided by 8:30 whether or not you're going to have a good day. Maybe there's a lot of truth because people wake up, if they had good sleep, they We're going to go out and get them, and you probably feel that way for most of the day until it's time to go to bed again.
So
getting good sleep is so important.
I know, I agree. And according to findings, and this goes along with the good sleep, good health and nutrition are the number one most important thing for a happy life. This is now a happy life, followed by having strong relationships and a sense of purpose. And the study also found that an optimistic outlook might be the key to unlocking a good day. Enjoying healthy food. I feel like we hit that already. Laughing at the little things in life and quality time with family. And I will say this. Bad things can happen and things cannot be great. And I can even cry. But for some reason, I feel like most of my days are good days. There are hard times. You go through hard periods because you're dealing with something.
Of course.
But I feel like I have so much to be grateful for that I feel like most of my days are good days, even when things don't go exactly according to plan. And I feel like there are some people where every day they're like, ugh, today was a tough day. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
They're in this room.
What?
I had to move today.
I did not do
I
that.
hit this
I do not.
motorcyclist.
Hold on. You two idiots. I do not complain about my day to you. I do not. Oh, yeah, you can sit there and laugh. I don't. I told you I had an issue with movers. That's different than complaining about my day. This idiot over here comes in every day. Oh, there's so much traffic. In St. Louis, there's no traffic in St.
This
Louis.
guy sounds pretty fun to me.
Yeah, you guys are making crap. I do not do that. You absolutely bitch about traffic, and there's 5 cars on the road when you come to work.
Don't protest too much.
It's true. It's absolutely true. Oh my God. Let's get Dave back in here. Dave would be in the office listening to this idiot over here talk about how bad the traffic was when she came in.
So the bowl half full respondents were found to be more perseverant, more prepared to be positive about their futures, and having more good days than pessimistic counterparts, which kind of makes sense. Optimism is more than a mindset. It's a daily practice, said the chief executive officer at Icelandic Provisions, who had this study commissioned.
This texter says, is this study called the most subjective study ever done?
I think it should be called that.
Also, they say I am not fully awake by 8:30 a.m. I don't think most people are.
I've lived a lifetime by 8:30. Lived a lifetime.
It's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. Feel free to text us 314-436-7900. And you can also leave us voice messages whenever you feel like doing it straight on the Odyssey app. It's Chris and Amy show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Experience the magic of the Fabulous Foxes 2025-2026 Broadway season, which includes the return of St. Louis favorite, The Phantom of the Opera, and the spellbinding spectacular Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And right now, KMOX has your chance to win a pair of season tickets for the 2025-2026 season. Prize package includes a pair of tickets for all 8 shows in the subscription package. Register now online at KMOX.com/contests for your chance to win.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're part of it. Expert care and genuine support backed by a network that puts your health first. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring.
Hi, I'm Andrew McCollum, CEO of Philo, the streaming TV company that's proud to be different. At Philo, we put the audience first. It sounds simple, but how often are you frustrated just trying to watch TV? I run a streaming company, and even I can't figure it out. From hidden fees to impossible to break contracts to dozens of confusing apps, TV has gotten way too hard. So we set out to make it better. You want to watch live TV from the channels you've always loved, like Discovery, A&E, Nickelodeon, and more? Philo's got you covered. You want to discover something new from our library of over 80,000 movies and shows? Then save every episode for up to a year so you can skip all the ads? No problem. Your favorite show is over, and you want to take a break from your subscription? We've made it as easy as possible, and you can still enjoy more than 100 free channels. We built Philo so that you can love the way you watch TV for a price you can afford. Because at Philo, we're TV fans too. Head to philo.tv/Andrew to start a free trial and see for yourself. That's philo.tv/Andrew.
1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they may have not saved enough to retire. If you're ready to get serious about planning for your financial future, you could start by listening to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All of the All Financial Group.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different. If you want assistance, we can also help you at that point.
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. They can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
We can get more sleep, we can get more sun, and we can get more exercise, but the one thing we can't get more of is time. It's time to eliminate the one phrase that could be holding you back from reaching your retirement goals. I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's time to pick up the phone and make the call to Gary Goldberg and the team at Financial and Tax Strategies, 314-991-9005, or online at checkwithgary.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial, Inc., an FFC registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Gary Goldberg, NPN number 918-615.
Do you know someone that deserves a new heating or cooling system at no cost? Lennox invites you to nominate a local hero in your community for Feel the Love and recognize someone who always gives back to others and just needs a little help to get their home comfort where it needs to be. To nominate a member of your community who serves others and deserves the recognition, visit www.feelthelove.com. Nominations will be accepted through August 31st. That's www.feelthelove.com.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Bernie Miklas will be with me, Chris Ranji, at 12 o'clock for Gas House Gang today until 1 o'clock. We're going to talk to the scouting director for the Cardinals, Randy Flores. So he'll be on the show. We just saw the Major League draft, the amateur draft happen.
Flores.
In the middle of the All-Star break. Cardinals will be back at it tomorrow. They're going to play in Arizona. So you'll have to stay up late for the Cardinals-Diamondbacks game. Gets going at 8:40. 8:40 is correct, yes. So that's tomorrow. Amy Marks,
That's
Kors,
late.
Chris Ranji.
That's a late game.
I guess it's not so bad now with the pitch clock.
It's much better with the pitch
Oh my
clock.
gosh. Because those games were, like, if you had a 9 o'clock game, they used to not end until 12:30 or sometimes even later than that. But the pitch clock has done so great for baseball. It's been awesome.
I think, again, I'm a huge hockey fan. And one thing with hockey, other than playoffs and overtime, when the game's going to end, it's a pretty nice little package of 2.5 hours.
Basketball, football, you know.
And football is a longer commitment for sure.
It's a longer game commitment, but it's once a week.
Yes.
You don't do it every single day.
And hockey is every couple of days for the most part. And, it's a nice, tidy 2.5 hour package. And I do feel like baseball is way more manageable now with the pitch clock. And, we were talking to Bob Costas yesterday. He was saying, if I remember correctly, not thrilled with the Ghost Runner, or not the Ghost Runner. Yeah, the Ghost Runner on second.
Yeah, the runner.
Yeah. He was not thrilled with that.
And definitely did not like the idea of what they did in the All-Star game by deciding it with the swing off.
Yeah.
Where you pick 3 players, each player gets 3 pitches, and whichever side hits the most home runs in those pitches wins the game. This was for an extra inning deal.
Yes.
Which was exciting. Again, I don't think I'd like it in the regular season, but it was definitely exciting.
On principle, in a court of law, would you argue that it is the same as a shootout in a soccer game or a shootout in a hockey game?
I don't know. There's, it's the
taking
it's
out the
same
emotion. Is it not the same idea?
Yeah, it's the same idea. I don't know. Maybe there's something about it in baseball. I don't have a good rationale for this, but there's something about a baseball game, the way it moves and the pace of it and the way it's played, that if you finish it with a swing off during the regular season, something about it feels a little cheap. I don't know.
Feels gimmicky for sure.
It does.
It feels very gimmicky. And you know what? Maybe they said the same thing. I'm trying to remember. I remember when the 5-minute overtime regular season for hockey moved down to 3-on-3
Yeah.
instead of 5-on-5, it felt a little gimmicky. Now, I don't think it's as big of a jump as a swing off. A swing off is a big jump from protocol. So the 5-on-5 to 3-on-3, it does feel gimmicky, but I kind of like it. Like, I think it works, but like, as I mentioned, I don't think it's as big of a leap as a swing off. Going 5-on-5 to 3-on-3 to a swing off, very different things.
I agree with you. I think it would be weird in basketball to do that. NBA, you go to overtime and you go 3-on-3. I mean, they have 3-on-3 tournaments, but I don't know. There's just something about the two sports that's different. Baseball, I can't rationalize it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd like it regular season. Maybe I would. I wouldn't push back too much if they adopted it. They never are going to. This isn't going to happen because games, even with extra innings, don't last very long anyway. Sometimes you'll get to 13 or 14, but that's very, very rare. So I think they'll just leave that as is. The Ghost Runner is fine. I don't hate that one as much as a lot of people do. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Well, I do want to bring this up quickly before the show is done because we talked about the best days of the year. Well, they also, again, more studies, more graphs on which states have the best or the most perfect weather days. And this was something I was talking about with my friend who grew up in a very perfect climate and moved here and complains about it vocally and frequently, the weather here, because she grew up, in a beach town with perfect climate.
Yeah.
Which city in the United States has the most perfect weather days a year?
San Diego.
San Diego. That's right. They have 330 perfect weather days a year in San Diego. And so it is 100%, they said, the very best when it comes to perfect weather year round. How many nice weather days does St. Louis have a year?
6.
They're putting us in like the 31 range.
31
nice days a year.
What was the temp range and what do they consider to be perfect?
Well, they're looking at sun, temperature, humidity, comfort, rain, cloud cover, all of that. So Phoenix has great weather, but in the summer, it's 115 degrees. They had like 3 months.
It's awesome in
over
January.
100.
Yeah.
And they talk about Florida, how the snowbirds fly south for the winter, but there is humidity and, there's some issues with Florida. So it's really, really nice. Of course, it's up there, but over 90% of the year, San Diego County has perfect weather. The second, not surprising, all of these, the top 4 are California, Los Angeles, 88%, Santa Barbara, 87%, Ventura County, 86%.
So I think I've been told that I would like Seattle weather.
Pretty rainy.
Yeah. And rain's fine. I don't mind it. But I think I'd really like San Francisco's weather because it's always like in July, it averages 67 degrees.
So here's what's crazy.
The hottest month of the year for them is September, and the high usually is 71. I can absolutely get down with that. That would be awesome. And the lows mid 50s all year long.
So the top 11 are all California: San Francisco County, Monterey County, Alameda County. Number 12, the first non-California county /city/state. Do you want to guess what it is?
Is it in Florida?
No.
Okay, then I have no idea.
Honolulu County, Hawaii.
Oh, come on, yeah.
But what's crazy is, remember how I said that San Diego's number 1 with 90% perfect days a year? Honolulu is 12th at 43%. That's a huge drop off.
What?
Yeah.
People vacation there because it's nice all the time.
I know.
Huh.
But the top 11 are all California counties, and it's between 64 and 90% of the days are perfect.
Well, Hawaii must be awesome with how expensive it is, and people still want to go there and visit. Because and I've never been. Have you've been there?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Again, not rich. Can't go to the lake. Can't go to Hawaii.
Do you know the Lake of the Ozarks is called the Hawaii of Missouri.
I see. I knew it. That's why I can't go. We got a texter earlier when we were talking about the lakes. It says, Chris, you better stay away from Lake of the Ozarks because the big boat, little boat phobia may push me over the edge.
Oh my gosh, that is such a good point.
Are there really big boats down there?
There are boats
I'm talking
that
like cargo ship big.
Well, there are boats that are too big for the lake.
Okay.
I can tell you that.
Then I can't go. Not rich. Can't go to the lake because I have a boat phobia. All right.
At least he's got an optimistic attitude.
Anything that you missed is on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to us wherever. The smart speaker, tell it to play the Chris and Amy show, and it will. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Hancock and Kelly join the show because it is a Friday. They'll start with us for that first hour. Look forward to having you. But the Gas House Gang coming up next, talk some Cardinals baseball and more. Bernie Miklasz and me, that is happening in a moment on 104.1 FM KMOX.
George of the Jungle, which is a great movie. Brendan Fraser.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home and